Okay, good morning. This is a joint informational briefing on Act 310 Grants and Aid. This meeting, including the audio video of remote participants, is being streamed live on YouTube. Due to the volume of applications received, there will be no Q&A during the briefing, but legislators are encouraged to contact organizations directly with any questions they may have. Only one representative per applicant will be allowed to participate. There will be a 1-minute limit for testimony. We will call organizations up in groups, so please be ready for your turn. The committees will hear from in-person participants first. For those participating in person, please check in with the staff at the entrance of the auditorium. Zoom participants will be called on after all in-person participants have spoken. If you are participating via Zoom, please log in no later than 12 noon and change your Zoom display name to match your organization's name as listed on the notice. You will not be permitted into the room after 12 p.m. We will recess at noon and reconvene at 12:30 a.m. if necessary. Mahalo for your understanding. And so the House members will begin calling the numbers of the different organizations that have registered.
Aloha and good morning, everybody. So yeah, we're gonna start with the neighbor island guys first. We only have about a dozen of you folks, so if we could have you all start lining up by the microphone with number 4 is first. So Aloha Care is first, and if everybody could just kind of line up in order in that area in the back over here. So, we have a limited time of 1 minute. If we could just focus on the effects of the federal cut that your organization faces, specifically, so that we can just get to the meat of it and just try to figure out, the holes we're trying to plug here. So if we can just, get straight to it, just your organization's name and right to how the federal cuts have been affecting you folks, that'd be great. So first up, we have Aloha Care.
Aloha and good morning, members of the committee. Mike Gwynn with Aloha Care, Public Policy Director. I'm here today to share with you that Aloha Care and the safety net communities that we represent are being barraged left and right by federal impacts. Obviously, there's the budget reconciliation bill with Medicaid and SNAP cuts. We're experiencing a SNAP crisis right now, and also the impending expiration of ACA tax subsidies. All of those are going to drive losses in enrollment and coverage, which will ultimately potentially shift costs to the state. So our program today that we're presenting is intended to mitigate the loss of hundreds of millions of federal dollars coming into the state for Medicaid, for other programs to help Kapuna and folks accessing social care. So that includes food, housing, and things like that. We have a network of community health workers that we would put together to help people navigate. We've done this during the unwinding, and we intend to do that again with our proposal. Happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Community Clinic of Maui. Sorry, can we have all the neighbor island people up there so we can be ready to go? Thank you.
Aloha, my name is John Vaz. I am the CEO and practicing infectious disease physician at the community clinic. My ask today is to help us continue to meet a critical need on island and in Maui County for safe obstetric access. We have been providing, and we are the only non-Kaiser OB provider since 2023 on island, and we are being impacted by Title 10 cuts as well as the impending Medicaid cuts. It took us about 3 years to upstaff with OB physicians, and if we discontinue or interrupt this program, we would stand the very real risk of unsafe care for our families that cannot afford to fly to Oahu, high-risk pregnancies. We do not have a neonatal ICU on Maui, and it took a lot of effort to get OB physicians on island in the middle of a physician shortage. So your support and help and investment would really help us continue to maintain trust and care and safety for our families.
Thank you. Just another tip, if you could,
Yes.
you're fine. But if you could highlight the amount that of federal cuts you are facing, that would also help us out. Next is Hawaii Bicycling League.
Aloha and good morning. Eduardo Hernandez with the Hawaii Bicycling League. HBL has documented tectonic shifts in priority and funding away from complete streets, active transportation, public transit, and transportation equity into the many tens of millions of dollars. We still don't know the full extent of this funding loss, but we're also here to ask for your support for that we are facing a lethal epidemic of traffic violence. Just in the last week, since the Department of Transportation issued a press release noting that we've exceeded the total number of fatalities from last year, we're already up to 111 fatalities. That's more than a Lahaina-sized epidemic of traffic violence, and we've asked for a small investment so we could do public education to address changing behaviors. This is in line with the governor's recent executive order to address the rising traffic fatalities on our roads and a clear need to reinforce behavioral change through education. Thank you very much for the opportunity to testify.
Thank you. Next is Hawaii Literacy.
Good morning, members of the committee. My name is Jill Takasaki Canfield. I'm the Executive Director of Hawaii Literacy. We're the state's only nonprofit dedicated to helping the 1 in 6 adults with the lowest literacy skills. We're requesting $428,000 to restore lost capacity and sustain core literacy and digital inclusion programs, serving communities from the Leeward Coast to Kalihi and statewide from Kauai to Kona. Recent federal cuts, including the NTIA Digital Equity Competitive Grants, have reduced access to essential literacy, language, and digital skill services that help residents access benefits, jobs, education, and healthcare. Without support, our statewide capacity could shrink by about a third at a time when the need and demand for services is on the rise. We serve people most affected by all of the cuts: low-income families, kupuna, people with language barriers, people with disabilities, and residents in rural areas. Funding will allow us to continue to serve over 5,000 learners each year through staff and a network of volunteers. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Next, we have Hawaii Youth Symphony Association.
Aloha. My name is Randy Wong. I'm president and CEO of Hawaii Youth Symphony. We're seeking $300,000 to support our statewide programming to provide access to music education for youth of all backgrounds. Music education and the arts are a priority critical need at this point. Many youth do not have a safe space or a place where they can really be themselves. And so this funding will help us to sustain critical programs so that kids from all across the state can participate in music and find better futures for themselves. We really appreciate your support and keeping arts at the table because the arts are just as necessary as every other program that's out there for youth development and creative capacity. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we have Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies Coalition of Hawaii.
Aloha Chair, members of the committee. My name is Sunny. I'm the CEO of Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies Coalition of Hawaii. We are requesting $700,000 to prevent critical service cuts that we anticipate upcoming federal and Medicare reductions. Today, over 80% of the clients that we serve are uninsured or Medicaid insured, the people who will be most affected by these federal changes. The loss of funding means that we will not be able to go in our mobile clinics to serve our community, do home visits, and work with our federal FQHC partners and community providers who depend on us to reach the most vulnerable and hard to reach clients in our community. We do work for the whole family: reproductive care, prenatal care, mental health, childhood immunizations, but also kupuna care as well. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next, we have Pacific Tsunami Museum.
Good day, Senator and Reps. My name is Melanie Ide. I'm here on behalf of the Tsunami Museum located in Hilo. but its work is statewide and its network stretches across the Pacific. The museum's mission is to save lives through education, and it's been doing this for over 30 years with proven programs and partnerships. This past July, when the tsunami was headed towards us, our state of readiness was stress test. No surprise, we have lots of work to do. But our problem is the federal tsunami infrastructure is collapsing. Funding and staff at the tsunami warning centers have been cut. FEMA canceled $3.6 billion in disaster preparedness grants, and much of NOAA's staff has been terminated. Key agencies that are educational partners are being dismantled and overwhelmed. We need funding to help fill the gap in preparedness training, expand partnerships, with emergency management agency, and deploy multilingual and age-appropriate tailored information. We have the track record and can ramp up right now. Thank you.
Thank you. We have the Kohala Center.
Aloha, I'm Cheryl Kauhanelu-Benui with the Kohala Center, CEO. The Kohala Center lost $1.35 billion in direct federal funding from USDA this year out of an annual budget of $3.5 million. We're requesting $1 million from the state, of which a third will provide direct financial assistance for food producers, especially Native Hawaiians. The remaining funds will cover staffing in the native plants and canoe crop nurseries that provide training, technical assistance, and planting material for over 300 farmers in North Hawaii. Our Hana Mahi'ai program fills a unique gap by focusing on Native Hawaiians who make up less than 9% of our state's farmers. TKC has been working on food and water security for over 25 years. All of our project teams members are deeply committed to this work because we are lineal descendants and are born, raised, or live in the communities that we serve. Now, with opportunities like the Medicaid 1115 waiver promoting local food as medicine, we cannot afford to lose momentum. We urgently ask for your full support so we can keep our farmers growing, keep jobs in our communities, and keep our people well fed. Mahalo for your support.
Thank you. Next, we have West Hawaii Community Health Center.
Aloha. My name is Richard Taff. I'm the CEO of the Hawaii Island Community Health Center. And as an FQHC, we currently care for 1 in 5 of the residents of Hawaii Island. However, with recent changes in migration enforcement and DEI, many of our non-English speaking and immigrant patients no longer are seeking care. No-shows for this population is almost 45% compared to 20% for English speaking patients. Year to date, our patient census has dropped over 1,300, which translates to a loss of nearly $500,000 in just the past 6 months. Now, with imminent cuts in Medicaid and reduction in SNAP, we anticipate fewer patients will seek care and will become uninsured, further straining our budget and jeopardizing our staff who support these patients. These staff are our patient navigators, our eligibility workers, our community health workers, the staff who comfort patients in their own language, who help patients navigate the healthcare maze, and who help patients secure food, housing, and other assistance. Our request is for $1.8 million to stabilize and sustain this workforce, protect jobs, and keep people healthy. Thank you.
West Hawaii Region Hospital Foundation.
Good morning. My name is Amy Feely-Austin. I'm the president of West Hawaii Region Hospital Foundation, and I am also the COO of the West Hawaii region, which includes Kona and Kohala hospitals. As you know, we provide over 70,000 people on the west side of Hawaii Island care. We are a sole community hospital. Kohala is a critical access hospital. Already, we have seen a reduction in expected funds from FEMA and federal appropriations to the tune of over $11 million. We expected to apply this to emergency management and failing equipment. I expect in 2025 to see a reduction to the tune of the tens of millions of dollars for services that will be uncompensated, and I expect to see an increase in services coming into the ED because care is not available in the community to uninsured people. We made a request for $460,000 for the replacement of certain pieces of equipment that we were expecting to replace in the beginning of the year. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Next, we have Sounding Joy Music Therapy.
Good morning, Honorable Joint Committee members. I am Nina Guerrero, Clinical Director at Sounding Joy Music Therapy. As the sole nonprofit music therapy organization in Hawaii, Sounding Joy requests a grant for music therapy services to enhance the well-being, resilience, and quality of life of people with disabilities in underserved communities across the state. This grant will provide vital support in the wake of federal funding reductions directly and indirectly affecting our organization, directly through loss of congressionally directed spending of $145,000 that was to have been administered by the Department of Health and Human Services. By using music as a creative medium for nonverbal communication and interaction, we promote equitable access to therapy, especially for people with limited verbal communication. On behalf of the clients, families, and staff at Sounding Joy, mahalo nui for your efforts to sustain our communities.
Thank you very much. Do we have anybody else from the neighbor islands in the audience? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to our Oahu testifiers. Yes. We'll get to the Zoom testifiers on completion of our in-person testifiers. So if you have numbers 119 through 170, can we please line up in the corner? So first up, we'll have Action Digital. Yeah, so again, that's 119 to 170 if we can line up in the back. And first up, Action Digital, Inc.
Aloha Chair and the members of the committee. My name is Jaffer Crew. I am 15 years old and the co-founder of Tech Savvy Teens. Tech Savvy Teens teaches kupuna to use technology, from telehealth to ChatGPT, helping them spot scams, protecting their info, and staying connected. Whew. Every week, teens visit senior centers across Oahu while we're expanding to Hawaii centers across. And we're expanding to Hawaii islands like Maui and Kauai. Losing federal funding has slowed our reach to kupuna who need help the most. Last year, Hawaii's kupuna lost over $18 billion to online scams, and our program is one of the few protecting them by teaching kupuna AI safety and spot scams. We're not just teaching tech, we're safeguarding their lives and saving dignity. Many of us earn IT certifications, spending quality time with kupuna and getting hired by local tech teen companies. Whew. So I ask you to support Tech Savvy Teens program because we're not letting Hawaii's kupuna convey the digital world alone when we have the skills to help them. Mahalo.
Thank you. Next, we have Big Brothers, Big Sisters, Hawaii.
Aloha, members of the legislature. My name is Kathy Ogawa. I'm the school-based director for Big Brothers Big Sisters Hawaii. We are humbly requesting $350,000 to help Hawaii's most disadvantaged youth. We serve youth who are from underserved, under-resourced, underrepresented, and economically disadvantaged communities. Our school-based one-to-one mentoring program serves Title I schools with the goal of ramping up to 22 schools by 2028 across the islands of Oahu, Maui, and Kauai. Between the government's funding freezes and reductions, the youth and families we serve have been deeply affected by these cuts. Without our mentoring model and interventions, our youth are at a higher risk for incarceration, teen pregnancy, substance abuse, gang activity, homelessness, and repeating the cycle of poverty. Lisa Preston, Iolani Spanish teacher and 16-year liaison and big sister for the Iolani School Alawai Elementary School-based program, recalls her littles, Rolando and Aiden, so fondly, and experienced a chicken skin moment upon walking back into the same classroom where she mentored them. Big Brothers Big Sisters Hawaii thanks you for your time and consideration. Mahalo.
Thank you very much. Next, we have Dynamic Community Solutions.
I'm Dr. Annie Anderson, Executive Director of Dynamic Healing Center. Many of our kupuna are facing a life-threatening homelessness crisis. Nearly 40% of Hawaii's homeless population are over 60. Many live unsheltered on our beaches and parks, battling chronic illness, isolation, and despair. When federal relief funding expired this year, we had to close our senior emergency shelter, displacing medically fragile kupuna back onto the streets. The need for safe, stable housing for elders have never been greater. The SAGE Center, our proposed program in Waianae, will restore emergency shelter beds, and provide comprehensive case management, healthcare coordination, and cultural healing rooted in Hawaiian values. With your support, the Sage Center will once again give our kupuna safety, dignity, and a pathway home. Mahalo for your time and for standing with our elders.
Thank you. We have Feeding Hawaii Together.
Aloha. Good morning. My name is Janine Sullivan, Executive Director of the Pantry by Feeding Hawaii Together, Hawaii's only e-commerce food distribution program. As of November 1st, the USDA has confirmed that SNAP benefits will not be distributed, leaving tens of thousands of Hawaii households without their primary food support. At the same time, many federal workers have gone weeks without pay. In response, we launched a special Monday distribution, and after just 2 weeks, we're already serving over 600 new households every Monday on top of our regular demand. In the last 7 days alone, we have registered over 1,260 new families, many who have never needed help before. Our small team of 4 is doing 150% of the work with no additional funding, and we are at risk of turning people away. We are also purchasing produce directly from local farmers, supporting Hawaii's agriculture economy while meeting this surge. We urgently request the state's partnership to sustain expanded distribution, retain essential staff, and ensure no keiki, kupuna, or working family goes hungry. Mahalo.
Thank you. We have Girl Scouts of Hawaii.
Aloha kako. I'm Dr. Kanoi Naone with CEO for Girl Scouts of Hawaii. So we lost $150,000 in local foundation funding as a result of the federal cuts to grants this year. These are foundations that we get funding from year after year, and they have been holding on to their funding in anticipation of the federal cuts and the impact on other Hawaii nonprofits that rely heavily on federal funding. We launched an aggressive campaign to be on every public elementary school campus this year. So this is a pretty big impact for us. We hired 8 staff across the state to lead 10 troops each, secured 70 new school partnerships, and are moving full steam ahead. Roughly 34% of our girls are on 100% financial assistance, and that's before the launch. So we're just asking to support to keep the program alive. Thank you.
Thank you. We have Dynamic Community Solutions.
Aloha. My name is James Pakele. I'm with Dynamic Community Solutions, the nonprofit firm to help Pu'uhonua Waianae move off the property next to Waianae Boat Harbor. In 2020, we purchased 20 acres of land, and we're currently working to move the 200 some odd residents off the property next to Waianae Boat Harbor onto the purchased property. Earlier this year, we had an EPA grant that was granted, signed contract, and then they pulled it. I think the amount total was for $3.3 million. We put it in. Obviously, we'll adjust the scope, and we don't want to take everybody's money. It's a pretty large sum, but it was to run containerized, climate-controlled farms and the energy to power it to feed not only our community, but the wider community as well. Thank you. Aloha.
Thank you. Next, we have Hawaii Disability Rights Center.
Good morning, committee members. My name is Becky Gardner. I am the staff attorney for the Hawaii Disability Rights Center. I want to thank you for considering our request. Our application is asking for $250,000. As indicated in our application, the president's proposal, our total projected grant revenue is expected to decline from $1,851,126 in fiscal year 2025 to $1,039,280 in fiscal year 2026. That's less $811,846. While Congress has not acted on the fiscal year 26 budget, I will note that both the House and Senate committees have jurisdiction over our funding and has supported the 2025 levels. However, this situation is highly uncertain, and our office is surviving today on carryover funds from 2025, and we anticipate shutting down in mid-November. We believe our application is strong and speaks for itself, but we'd greatly appreciate favorable consideration by this committee. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hawaii Youth Services Network.
Sorry, who did you call?
Hawaii Youth Services Network.
Hawaii Youth Services Network, in partnership with 7 organizations, is requesting funds to provide street outreach services to homeless youth and young adults statewide. 5 of the partners have already lost $450,000 in federal funds, and all of the partners have federal monies that are severely threatened. Homeless youth and young adults are the most vulnerable segment of our homeless population because they are emerging adults who have not completed their education and lack employment skills and experience. They are at high risk of assault, exploitation, and trafficking while on the streets. They experience hunger and lack of access to medical and mental health services. With grant funds, we will reach up to 500 homeless young people. We will increase their safety while on the streets and help them to reunite with family or obtain other safe, appropriate living arrangements. Thank you for this opportunity to testify.
Thank you. Next, we have Hawaiian Lending and Investments.
Hi, my name is Rolina Fug. I am the Executive Director for Hawaiian Lending Investments. We're U.S. Treasury Certified Community Development Financial Institution, and earlier this year, through the rollback of the EPA programs through the Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund, about $27 billion that was to go nationally in investing in clean energy finance, our organization lost $11 million. Other CDFIs have also experienced this loss. Overall, our grant proposal was to ask for 25% for operations, and 75% of it was to go to sub-granting to community members who are directly impacted to support climate resilient investment statewide. In conjunction with the residential clean energy credit and energy efficient home improvement credits, those have also been phased out. So we were trying to capital stack for the individuals to help them with their clean energy commitments. Thanks.
Thank you. Next, we have Ho'omana Inapo'okela.
Hello, my name is Lee Kobian. I'm with Ho'omana, and we're a nonprofit. We provide social recreational opportunities to at-risk adults and youths on the west side of Oahu, from Kapolei all the way up to Makaha. And our park project is a partnership with the city and county of Honolulu and with the National Park Service that we've been working on for 27 years, since 1998. We finally got the property for this park, and for this year, we normally would have qualified for the Outdoor Recreation Legacy Partnership grants with the federal government because this is a National Park Service program, and that's been on pause and frozen, and we're requesting only $130,000 for planning work, and also we're requiring some fire hydrants on the property. This is part of the BRAC 400 acres that was given from the Navy to the city. And as I said, it's a project that we've been working on for 27 years. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we have Honolulu Theater for the Youth.
Aloha, my name is Eric Johnson, and we're requesting $110,000 to replace direct federal cuts from the National Endowment of the Arts and indirect pass-through federal funding towards education, health, and human services. Our programming is statewide. We reach between 80,000 and 100,000 kids, teachers every year, which means that we're the largest provider of educational services to youth outside of the DOE. Whether we're doing a multi-week residency at an English language learner classroom, whose funding is in jeopardy, or a kid from Laie coming to see, they get one field trip a year, and they're coming to see a show about a celebrity from Laie who invented the steel guitar, which is the funding we got cut. This is important that we keep telling our stories for our young people and giving them arts education opportunities into the future. Mahalo.
Thank you very much. Anybody else who has a number, if we could start lining up in the back as well, and then we'll continue on with Kids Hurt Too. So yes, anybody else in the crowd, I think there should be less than a dozen of you left, so if we can just start lining up in the back. Please proceed.
Aloha. My name is Walker Rousey. I'm the Executive Director of Kids Hurt 2 Hawaii. We are requesting $394,500. Since the funding cuts, we have expanded our peer support, mentoring, and community activities for grieving and traumatized youth and their families to hundreds of additional households, filling gaps as other services have evaporated. Since the announcements, the number of schools we serve has increased fourfold, and we now have an active wait list for the schools. We have funded food for a DOE houseless outreach program this summer after federal dollars were pulled back, and we continue to fill in service gaps as requested by our DOE partners as various DOE programs at the federal level get cut. As other programs and services have retracted, we've worked closely with the DOE to fill these gaps, and without this funding, we will not be able to serve the now dozens of schools and hundreds of families that have found us during these times.
Thank you. Next, we have Kokua Kalihi Valley.
Good morning. My name is Michael Epp. I'm with Kokua Kalihi Valley in the beloved community of Kalihi. We're a community health center. Approximately 150,000 residents enrolled in Medicaid will be subject to new community engagement requirements mandating 80 hours per work a month of education, volunteer, or employment to maintain health coverage. The impacts will be felt acutely in Kalihi, where many of our residents are immigrants, COFA migrants, and low-income public housing residents. We anticipate that roughly 20% of our 9,500 active patients may lose Medicaid coverage, which will disrupt care continuity and threaten our financial stability. We estimate an annual revenue loss of $2.5 million, which is our request. Funding through Act 310 will sustain our core operations during revenue losses and support a proactive outreach campaign with targeted communications, benefits, navigation, counseling, and a referral system connecting patients to career, education, and volunteer opportunities. Our project is designed to be scalable. We are flexible in tailoring our approach within the funding parameters identified by the Legislative Review Committee. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. We have Oahu Resource Conservation and Development Council.
Aloha kako. My name is Dave Dutra-Elliott, and I'm the Executive Director of Agriculture Stewardship Hawaii, a DBA of the Oahu Resource Conservation and Development Council. Our mission is to serve the agricultural communities that nourish Hawaii's land and people. In 2025, our organization has directly lost $2.2 million in federal funding due to USDA grant terminations that impact our ability to provide direct technical assistance to farms, ranches, and food systems producers statewide. These direct federal funding losses reduced our capacity to provide free grant writing services, loan literacy training, and grant and loan capital access assistance at the exact moment our farmers and ranchers need it most. At least $88 million in federal agricultural funding has been terminated or placed at risk statewide, threatening Hawaii's food security when we can least afford it. We urgently need Act 310 funds to support staff positions and sustain our programs, including our Farmer Help Desk intake and referral system, to keep them operational for all farmers, especially those most affected by federal funding cuts. We have 25 years of proven results and trusted, successful partnerships. Mahalo for your consideration.
Thank you. We have Papakolea Community Development Corporation.
Aloha mai, Representative Holt, Representative Takenouchi, and Senators. I want to thank you for scheduling this briefing and providing this funding opportunity under Act 310. The Papakolea Community Development Corporation received a $300,000 grant under the Climate United Next program, which was funded by $7 billion EPA, National Clean Investment Fund congressional appropriation. We're here today. We did not receive our award. We're funded in March, and we did not receive our award because Climate United decided to sue the EPA for freezing the funds. We submitted an application under Act 310 to support $200,000 of our project because we had to cut 50% of our staff, and we had to cancel our contract that we had in place. We had to reprogram funds to have these services paid for, staffing, and the contracts, what little contract staff we could, contracts work we could do. Thank you very much. I ask you to support our program.
Thank you. The Alcoholic Rehabilitation Services of Hawaii.
Aloha, committee members. My name is Brian Baker, and I'm here on behalf of Hina Malka, or the Alcoholic Rehabilitation Services of Hawaii, which has helped Hawaii's most vulnerable residents find recovery for over 50 years. We care for those with the most complex needs, battling addiction and mental illness and serious medical conditions, many of whom are Native Hawaiian, justice involved, or unhoused, but today our ability to serve them is at risk. We are seeking $250,000 due to federal cuts to Medicaid and behavioral health grants, which have forced us to stretch nursing coverage, limit care coordination, and turn away patients needing the highest level of care. These aren't just numbers, these are our neighbors and Ohana. With Act 310 support, we can keep our psychiatric and medical teams intact, sustaining Hawaii's only integrated treatment model, and keep more of our Ohana from ending up in the emergency rooms and on the streets. Mahalo for helping us keep hope and healing alive.
Thank you. Next we have U.S. Vets.
Aloha, members of the committee, appreciate it. My name is Tamalani No, Program Director out at U.S. Vets Barbers Point. I'm here representing U.S. Vets Barbers Point and Wa'anai site. I'm going to stand on my written testimony, but I just want to highlight a couple of things. U.S. Vets is the largest nonprofit organization that services veterans and families here in the state of Hawaii, something that we're really proud of. But again, we also service and help 2,600 individuals and over 700 kids every year. The impact that Act 310 is going to have on us is going to be huge if we are not allowed to be supported by this. We are requesting $3 million to continue the services that we currently provide. As of right now, we haven't been impacted, but 80% of our budget is federally funded. So we are going to be severely impacted should the funding not be appropriated. Again, we want to maintain our services to our veterans and our families, and we want to continue to provide that amazing support that we do. Again, mahalo for offering this. Thank you, and have a great day.
Thank you. Next, we have Ahapunana Leo.
Aloha nui kako o wau ku'iulani ka luna ho'okea leo ka Ahapunana Leo. I'm with Ahapunana Leo as the CEO. First of all, mahalo to all of you for thoughtfully considering how this crucial funding will be deployed among our community service providers. Ahapunana Leo is a statewide provider of Hawaiian language medium child care. We have 12 licensed centers and 2 infant toddler programs throughout the state, serving over 75 zip codes and approximately 300 to 350 keiki each year, along with our ohana. We've relied heavily on competitive federal funding programs under the NHEP program to sustain our work. We employ nearly 100 limahana or staff members, also providing specialized professional development training to supply the education sector, supporting them with highly qualified and well-prepared teachers in Hawaiian language medium or immersion. In addition, our organization will be impacted by the cuts to a significant amount of our families under the SNAP program. The funding is needed to help ensure availability of childcare and jobs. Mahalo nui.
Thank you very much. Next, we have Goodwill Industries of Hawaii.
Aloha and good morning, Senator Del Cruz, Senator Kanuha, Representative Holt, and Representative Takanuchi. My name is Casey Bui, Chief Operating Officer at Goodwill Hawaii. Goodwill Hawaii is in a critical situation. We are requesting $1.4 million in Act 310 funding to prevent the collapse of 3 federally impacted programs. Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act Adult and Dislocated Worker, Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act Youth, and the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program. Without this funding, over 3,000 low-income families will lose free tax preparation services, and more than 600 residents on Hawaii Island and Maui will lose access to employment opportunities. In addition, the recent shutdown has put the SNAP employment and training funding of $500,000 at risk, affecting hundreds more who rely on us to find and keep jobs. These aren't just numbers, they're local families trying to get back on their feet. The loss of these programs would leave a devastating hole in our state safety net for residents already struggling with unemployment, underemployment, and the rising cost of living. Mahalo for your time in recognizing the urgency of this request.
Thank you. Hawaii Korean Citizens League.
Good morning. I want to say thank you for this opportunity first. My name is Esther Kang, and I'm speaking on behalf of the Hawaii Korean U.S. Citizens League. For more than 13 years, our organization has served Hawaii Korean American and immigrants community through free citizenship classes, voter registration and education, and conducting the U.S. Census outreach and participation in Hawaii. We also assist with U.S. passport renewal and help many seniors and limited English-speaking residents complete important government form. Through this effort, we ensure our community is counted, represented, and engaged in Hawaii's civic life. With these grants, we hope to continue expanding these services that empower every resident to fully participate in democracy. Mahalo for your time and support.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else in person left to testify? Seeing none, we'll go to Zoom testifiers. First up on Zoom, we have Access Surf. Just in preparation, after Access Surf, we'll have Adult Friends for Youth, Alulike, and Achieve for Health, Arts, and Spirit. So please get ready. So Access Surf. We will take a 1-minute recess. I don't know, call your friends, tell them to get back on the computers. We're going to continue the Zoom testimony in 1 minute. All right. And we're back. Do we have Access Surf on Zoom?
Yes, thank you. My apologies.
No problem. Please proceed.
Yes, I'm here to today provide my statement in support of Access Surf Hawaii. Access Surf Hawaii is to provide life-changing, accessible water programs for people with disability of any age. That includes our keiki, our kupuna, and our wounded warriors. I am a recipient of the benefits of Access Surf Hawaii when I broke my neck at Makapu'u 8 years ago. And as a quadriplegic, learned very quickly how hard it is to get any physical activity or even safety to get back into the water. And due to Access Surf's support, is able to do that. Today, we have a large number of participants through monthly programs, both in water safety and clinics that help people get back in the water, as well as safe beach activities for family and disabilities. So today I've regained some function and continue to work every day thanks to these programs. And I want to just thank you for your help in providing our support for in this current environment of financial strain, and how Access Surf is valuable
Thank
both
you.
to water safety programs and activity. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, okay, just real quick for everybody on Zoom, just some tips for testimony since we only have 1 minute. We all know about you guys' great organizations. If we could just get quickly to the federal cuts you guys are facing and what the funding requests that you guys would use these grant funds for, that would be the best use of our 1 minute. So next we have Adult Friends for Youth.
Good morning. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you so much. Good morning, senators and representatives. Thank you for your time. Adult Friends for Youth. We do have a very high risk, 2.4 million of federal funding, which is a big part of our organizational budget to be taken away or cut with all of this youth programs from OJJDP and so forth. We are requesting 600,000 to continue our very much needed services within the communities and the public housings that we serve, especially with the youth violence being on the rise. So to continue to build safe schools and communities, we are very much requesting for the monies to continue our services, and we thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Next we have Alulike.
Aloha committee members, my name is Marvina Kashkaeo and I am the CEO of Alulike Inc. The purpose of our request is to maintain our statewide level of service of our employment and training program, which was forced to reduce staff work hours by 20% to address the $189,403 cut in our Department of Labor federal funding. The employment status of Native Hawaiians still falls short of the state's per capita income. In fiscal year ending 2025, Alulike not only increased the average salary per job placement, but also attained a 264% return on investment, which included $412,957 paid in state income tax. Our detailed return on investment figure is included in our written testimony. We ask for your support of $189,403 to maintain our statewide level of service. Mahalo nui for your consideration.
Thank you. Next we'll have Achieve for Health, Arts, and Spirit, followed by Armed Services, YMCA Hawaii, Awili, Boys and Girls Club of Hawaii, and Bridge House. Please prepare. So Achieve for Health, Arts, and Spirit. Please proceed.
Aloha mai kako. My name is Hoku Pavao, co-director of the Archive for Health, Arts, and Spirit, or AHAS. We bridge arts, health, and education to strengthen community wellness and resilience across Hawaii. In 2025, AHAS lost more than $300,000 in federal support when national arts and health programs like the White House AANHPI initiative, NEA Big Read, Project Launch, and DOE Title IV were discontinued. These cuts directly affected youth and educators who rely on creative, culturally grounded healing programs in our schools. Despite these losses, we continue to serve communities in Hilo, Oahu, and Maui with integrity and care. Our grant and aid request of $100,000 will help sustain and expand our program In Language There Is Life, which uses poetry, storytelling, and cultural arts to build empathy, belonging, and combat hate speech, bullying, and depression among Hawaii's youth. With this support, we can continue Arts for Healing residencies, provide training and stipends for teaching artists, and strengthen evaluation systems that inform future state policy on arts and health integration. Mahalo piha for your leadership and for considering this investment in Hawaii's language, culture, and collective healing. Mahalo.
Thank you. Armed Services, YMCA Hawaii.
Aloha committee members. I'm speaking on behalf of the Armed Services YMCA Hawaii, urging support to continue funding for our Food for Families program, which serves active duty, reserve, retired, and veteran military families, as well as Department of Defense and federal employees across the island. When pay and benefits are delayed, our community, many already living paycheck to paycheck, feel the strain immediately. Our programs help them stay stable and reduces the ripple effects on local food banks and community resources. So far, we have served over 47,000 individuals, and in October alone, demand rose nearly 50%, but we know that these will continue to grow. Families tell us these programs are a game changer, especially as federal disruptions create uncertainty. We view our efforts as part of a larger network of community support, working alongside other organizations to ensure that all families here have access to nutritious food and essential resources. Mahalo for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Willie?
Aloha nui kako. My name is Andrew Frias, and I'm here on behalf of Avili, a nonprofit on Hawaii Island. Federal workforce cuts totaling $1.8 billion nationwide, including $900 million for youth job training, are happening now. Here in Hawaii, on Hawaii Island, that means 500 youth and 1,300 adults are losing access to job training, internships, and employment support. These losses hit hardest on Hawaii Island, where every community is rural compared to that of its sister islands. Our request from Act 310 in the amount of $200,000 will directly fund and sustain our workforce readiness programs and staff at our new hub at Prince Kuhio Plaza, a central, low barrier, and welcoming space providing certifications, career mentoring, and targeted outreach to dislocated and disadvantaged youth and young adults. Every dollar invested reduces dependencies, increases tax revenues, and saves public funds, yielding up to $37 for every dollar invested. This isn't temporary. It's a systemic shift built on our people, our culture, and our aina. Mahalo nui for this opportunity to share with you folks. Aloha.
Boys and Girls Club of Hawaii.
Aloha, my name is Patty Kauhani, CEO of Boys and Girls Clubs of Hawaii. BGCH serves 3,500 school-aged youth directly through our sites on Oahu and Kauai, 90% of whom come from families who are designated low to extremely low income, and many who come from active military families. The losses in federal funding and government shutdown means that our families need our services more than ever. BGCH lost our VISTA, and we are at risk of losing critical funding through OJJDP and general federal support for after-school programs. 28% of our budget is federally funded. The support through Act 310 will allow us to remain maintaining service and continue to charge only $25 a year membership fees while we provide safe spaces, caring adult mentors, life-changing programs, and meals and snacks in the clubs. Mahalo for considering our application for support.
Thank you. We have Bridge House, followed by Catholic Charities Hawaii, Cattlemen's Association, and Seeds of Peace. Bridge House.
Aloha, chairs and members. My name is Andy Puazaret-Lozalio. I'm the Executive Director of Bridge House Inc. in Kona. We are requesting about $182,000 from the Act 310 funds to assist directly in purchasing food and helping with fees for housing for our clients. While our housing programs are not directly impacted with funds, and we're able to keep our transitional living program and our recovery houses and our 5 houses in the community for those who are homeless and at risk for homelessness, including families with children, our clients are the ones that are going to be impacted. The concerns are not having funds from SNAP benefits on November 1st, but also the new federal SNAP rule changes as of November 1st. We're really concerned that our clients, though certain ones who are unable to work at the moment, and also our small families that need additional assistance to help keep food on the table and be able to pay for the stable housing. So we're asking for assistance for food and for fees for housing. Mahalo.
Thank you. Catholic Charities Hawaii.
Aloha. Every year, dozens of children are sent to Hawaii fleeing violence, extreme poverty, or exploitation. They arrive in the U.S. without their parents, traumatized and alone to face a complex immigration system. Federal funding for a program known as the Unaccompanied Children Program, providing legal representation and support services, is scheduled to end tomorrow, on October 31st. Catholic Charities Hawaii requests $317,000 to continue providing legal representation and support services for these children. Most of them live with sponsors on Maui, Hawaii Island, mostly in Kona, and on Oahu. All of the children are required to report to immigration court or ICE office only located on Oahu. Without this funding, over 50 children, many who are victims of trauma, will be left without legal representation, social support, protection, or help in avoiding the trauma of detention and deportation. Mahalo.
Thank you very much. Cattlemen's Association.
Aloha, my name is Nicole Galassi here on behalf of the Hawaii Cattlemen's Council. Our submittal requests funding for our organization to continue seeking out conservation and food production grants for ranchers to make up for the federal funds canceled. This was over $350,000 to our organization, as well as $1.7 million intended to go directly to rancher projects. We also propose to streamline the process for ranchers to provide beef to the community, even during disaster. Ranchers are key players in food security, providing a high-quality protein, and they can provide beef for our community even with limited resources. We'd like to coordinate that effort better so a solid plan is in place when crisis hits. Especially now, beef donations are important, but more complicated than just handing out ground beef. There's a lot that goes on regarding transportation, processing, cold storage. We want to streamline that process for the industry and find ways to ensure beef is always an option for feeding our communities. This investment in the Hawaii Cattlemen's Council will keep our small staff working towards these efforts to help our Paniolo statewide, as well as the community. Mahalo.
Thank you. Next, we're going to have Seeds of Peace, followed by DVAC, Elepaio Social Services, Emergency Animal Care and Help. Seeds of Peace.
Hello, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Scott Nishimoto, Executive Director of Seeds of Peace. We're applying to sustain the Community School Coordinator position at Waianae Elementary, a role that has become essential to our students' well-being. We're asking for $105,951. When a child comes to school hungry, when a parent loses health coverage, when a family faces eviction, learning takes a back seat. Our Community School Coordinator is the person who connects them to food, counseling, healthcare, and in many cases, hope. They hold together the web of support that allows children to show up ready to learn. But with cuts to the federal DOE's Native Hawaiian Education Program and congressional earmarks, this position is at major risk moving forward. And the absence of this position is only exacerbated by the threats to safety net programs like SNAP and Medicaid. By funding this request, you're sustaining not just a position, but an entire web of support to our students at Waianae Elementary. Mahalo.
Thank you. Next, we have DVAC.
Aloha, I'm Laurie Tochiki, Interim CEO of the Domestic Violence Action Center. DVAC is requesting funding for a one-year bridge that will help us pivot and strengthen services to transform this crisis into an opportunity. DVAC has currently experienced and anticipates federal funding cuts in excess of $1 million, especially for culturally specific programs supporting survivors of domestic violence who are immigrants, primarily mothers who are earning below $31,000 annually, who are trying to escape from violence with their children. Survivors are particularly impacted by the loss of SNAP benefits and other essential benefits. We are requesting $450,000 to strengthen our helpline, which connects the community to essential services. Without a lasting solution, survivors lose their safety net, law enforcement faces increased domestic violence calls, and courts see more fatalities. With the help of the legislature during this critical time, we hope to emerge stronger, self-sufficient, and permanently capable of serving Hawaii's most vulnerable families. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Elepaio Social Services.
Aloha, my name is Alicia Higa, Executive Director of Elepaio Social Services. Since the government shutdown, hunger has deepened across our community. Furloughed workers and families who rely on SNAP now face empty cupboards and impossible choices. Lines at our food pantries have doubled, turning a chronic struggle into an everyday emergency. In Waianae, one of Hawaii's most food insecure communities, the loss of benefits has devastating ripple effects. And when families cannot meet basic needs, desperation can lead to increases in crime, violence, and instability. Our small team of 8 operates 11 school pantries and 5 kupuna pantries weekly, serving over 6,000 people, yet demand has quadrupled and resources have not. Over the last few days, in addition to the thousands we feed weekly, we distributed over 344 farmers market gift cards with $250 loaded to furloughed families, investing $86,000 in local produce, poi, and proteins that sustain both families and farmers. Our farmers market offers the largest SNAP doubling program in the state. So when SNAP stops, Our farmers and food producers also lose critical income that keeps local agriculture alive. Our emergency feeding
Thank
response
you.
must balance. Thank you.
Emergency animal care and help.
Aloha, my name is Ayla Mader, Executive Director and Founder of Emergency Animal Care and Help, or EACH. We are requesting $50,000, just 0.1% of the total funds available, but huge for Maui Pets, to continue providing emergency veterinary aid to low-income Maui residents and to strengthen partnerships with local clinics in our island's shelter. As a newer organization, we've been indirectly affected by federal funding cuts that reduce support for human service programs and for groups like the Maui Humane Society. When those programs lose funding, our kupuna, fire survivors, families on fixed incomes, homeless, and individuals with disabilities lose critical unrepresented safety nets for their pets and service animals. Each steps in to keep pets with their families and ease the strain on clinics and the shelter already at capacity. With no paid staff or office, nearly every dollar goes directly to care. We are ready to use this funding immediately to sustain life-saving assistance for Maui families and their pets. Mahalo for considering our request and recognizing the connection between animal welfare and human well-being on Maui.
Thank you. Next, we're going to have Family Hui Hawaii, followed by Feed My Sheep, Foundation for Animal Care and Education, and Friends of the Palace Theater.
Aloha, my name is Sherilyn Shiinoki, Executive Director of Family Hui Hawaii. Funding cuts from multiple sources around maternal health, early learning, family engagement, SNAP, and Medicaid, and new directions for child abuse and neglect funds will affect our families with young children, most who are ALICE families, greatly. While many of these cuts are pending, we know that we are likely to lose approximately $250,000 that we desperately need to keep Hawaii families strong. We have many mothers that come to us with undiagnosed postpartum depression, but yet find a hui of other families to connect with and build a network of support and are encouraged to get professional help. Many share that the hui saved their and their babies' lives. This is what prevention looks like. We've served over 1,700 parents this year statewide. Our peer-to-peer model builds connection, helps parents manage stress before it turns into crisis. Together, we are building a community safety net, family to family, one that doesn't rely solely on institutional systems. We are seeking $250,000 to partially sustain these programs to build this critically family-driven net. Thank you.
Feed My Sheep.
Aloha, my name is Scott Hopkins, Executive Director of Feed My Sheep, which operates mobile food pantries on the island of Maui, serving between 3,000 and 10,000 unduplicated individuals per year. The program was designed to complement SNAP benefits, focusing on nutritional support through healthy food choices. Feed My Sheep has seen a significant increase in new applicants in attendance since July when SNAP reduced benefits amounts. We anticipate additional demand as the government shutdown threatens to delay SNAP benefits for November. We believe that our organization is well organized to address the disruptions in SNAP, but request $75,000 in additional funding to maintain program capacity and food supplies in the midst of current and anticipated increase in attendance. Thank you, committee members, for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Foundation for Animal Care and Education.
Aloha. I'm the program director for Foundation Animal Care and Education. We're a nonprofit that fills the gap for our low-income families in Hawaii who are facing the all too often and difficult decision to euthanize an animal family member because life-saving veterinary costs are out of reach. We consider ourselves a crucial anti-poverty measure in the state, as we've seen families go into debt, mortgage homes, and the like to pay for ever-increasing costs of emergency veterinary care. We've been privately funded since the start of the org, and now, given to federal budget cuts and economic instability, have been recently informed that our main private funding will not be renewed for 2026. Additionally, we have seen large increase in applicants who are facing economic hardship and thus cannot cover any costs of procedures. This has increased our average funding award drastically. If we do not receive additional funding or bridge funding, our nonprofit will no longer operate as of December of this year. This will impact our created and sustained partnerships, which include 13 veterinary hospitals on Oahu. If our Save a Life program goes away, the number of family member pets who will be euthanized around the state will increase drastically. We're asking for $250,000 as bridge funding to create a strategic plan, pay for our staff, and continue our program. Thank you.
So next we have Friends of the Palace Theater, followed by Hale Mahaolu, Hale Makua, and Hana Health.
Aloha kako.
My name is Erin Chung. I am the development officer at the Palace Theater in Hilo, Hawaii. We are requesting $15,000 in funds to support our Hawaiian concert series. That may seem like a small amount, but it represents 1/3 of the budget for that program. It covers artists' fees. We've received many requests for bigger acts from outer islands. We recently hosted Paula Fuga. We host Jake Shimabukuro every year. We pair those with smaller artists on island and elevate the Hawaiian music scene here on Hawaii Island. 95% of our patrons feel more connected to the community after attending a live event. 96% agree that ticket prices are fair. If we have to reduce our budget, we will serve less of our community and have to raise our ticket prices. Mahalo for your time and supporting the arts in Hilo.
Thank you. Ale Mahaolu.
Good morning. My name is Marlene Tanji, and I'm with Hale Maha'olu. With the current federal government shutdown and crippling budget cuts, our organization has experienced a 50% cut to our fiscal year 2026 grant from the Department of Housing and Urban Development Congregate Housing Services Program, otherwise known as a CHSP Meals Program. Original grant amount for the fiscal year 2026 is $350,000. The grant amount was then reduced to $173,526 with zero funding received by Hale Maha'olu as of the submission of this grant proposal. Our CHSP Meals Program provides 1,400 meals per day, 7 days a week to frail kupuna and mobility challenged households living across Maui County. Our request is for $305,121 to cover our meals program budget shortfalls in addition to our other wraparound services. We humbly ask for your support to our programs. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Holly Makua.
Aloha, Representatives and Senators. Wesley Lowe from Halemakua Health Services. We have been providing care transition services for vulnerable patients in Kupuna through the pandemic and the Maui fires and have been funded by ARPA funding, which has ended. Our model is to ensure that Kupuna patients discharged from hospitals or nursing facilities are provided services to transition to home in a safe, secure manner. We focus on medical and social needs. We address housing, food insecurity, and other economic barriers that are being negatively impacted by the federal funding cuts, SNAP housing programs, cuts to Medicare and Medicaid. With these cuts in SNAP and Medicare and Medicaid, the need will be even greater. This is a statewide crisis. We do not discriminate with any payers. We go see people in homeless shelters, medical respite. We are requesting $684,000 to continue this program. Without this funding, this program is in jeopardy, and we respectfully request your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Hana Health, followed by Hawaii Meals on Wheels, Hawaii Public Health Institute, and Hawaiian Community Assets.
Good morning, legislators. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. I'm Cheryl Vasconcellos. I'm the Executive Director of Hana Health. This is the only medical and healthcare provider in the Hana District serving one of the most isolated areas in the state. To date, we've lost $75,000 in Title X funding, but our bigger concern is what will happen with our base 330 funding going into the new fiscal year, as well as the cuts to Medicaid and Medicare. We're anticipating losses of approximately $1.4 million over the next 2 years as a result of cuts in Medicaid funding, as well as insurance premiums going up at the affordable care marketplace. So for us, it's really a matter of what we're going to be able to continue in the way of healthcare services to this remote community as the only provider in the Hana District. So we're hoping that we can count on your support to make us whole going forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Hawaii Meals on Wheels.
Aloha, my name is Michelle Cordero Lee, and I'm the CEO of Hawaii Meals on Wheels. We are the only nonprofit in the state delivering medically tailored meals directly to homebound kupuna and adults with disabilities. These are renal, diabetic, chopped, pureed meals. We are requesting $495,000 in emergency funds for meal delivery and social services for those who will lose Medicaid and SNAP benefit eligibility. In 2024, we served 1 in 4 clients who relied on SNAP Medicaid funds, and we're already receiving calls from partner agencies and those who are seeing benefits reduced or cut entirely, turning to us for help. Hawaii Meals on Wheels is Oahu's safety net. The funds will allow us to continue serving our clients and those partner agencies who have nowhere else to turn. Thank you for helping us sustain this service and protecting the fragile safety net that keeps our communities and households nourished, safe, and independent in their homes. Mahalo.
Hawaii Public Health Institute.
Aloha, members of the committee. My name is James McCallan, and I'm the Director of Community Preparedness and Resilience at Hawaii Public Health Institute. Climate change is already affecting our health, and federal cuts to the CDC and EPA have left Hawaii with fewer resources to respond. This funding request asks for $500,000 to sustain and expand several interconnected efforts directly impacted by federal cuts to the EPA and SNAP Ed programs. We work with community-based organizations and community health workers who bridge vital services to our most underserved families. This funding will allow outreach to continue to share new information on Medicaid and SNAP requirements. In addition, this funding will train our partners to communicate the health risks of heat, wildfires, and extreme weather. This federal administration has showed little interest in responding to public health emergencies, wildfires, and other natural disasters. Act 310 is a chance to act on the legislature's vision, continue Hawaii's leadership as the first state to declare climate change a public health emergency, and support the partnerships that keep our communities healthy and resilient. Mahalo for your time and leadership.
Thank you. Hawaiian Community Assets.
Hi, good morning. My name is Ashley Loa on behalf of Hawaiian Community Assets. We are requesting $992,000 to ensure continuity of our work as we face the possibility of funding cuts through HUD. This funding will provide $800,000 in direct emergency financial assistance and support over 1,200 households through homebuyer and financial education. This will also safeguard over $300 million in contracts with our partners such as DHHL, OHA, and all of the counties that allow us to serve thousands of households across the state. Mahalo for your continued support.
Thank you. HCAN.
Aloha. Thank you for your time and consideration. My name is Hannah London, and I am the Deputy Director of Hawaii Diaper Bank. Hawaii Diaper Bank's application was submitted through Hawaii Children's Action Network, our fiscal sponsor. Hawaii Diaper Bank was indirectly impacted by the federal funding freezes and terminations. Hawaii Diaper Bank's mission is to provide diapers, wipes, and other basic essentials to low-income children in Hawaii. Per month, on average, we serve more than 600 children in need. We meet the needs of these children through our partnerships with 20 community-based organizations. These partners provide families with vital services such as healthcare, housing, and early education. Several of our partners were directly impacted by the federal funding freezes and terminations. You have actually heard from some of them already. And as such, families are having more difficulty accessing their needed supports. More than 80% of the families that we serve are eligible to receive TANF, and these families are experiencing an increased need for concrete supports. We'll use this funding to continue to support our partners and provide direct services. Thank you.
So next we have Hope Services Hawaii, followed by Hui o Ho'ohonua, Imua Family, Imua Onipa'a.
Aloha, members of the committee. My name is Brandon Menino. I'm the CEO of Hope Services Hawaii. We are requesting support to sustain essential housing, shelter, and outreach programs on Hawaii Island. We face a potential loss of $1.4 million in federal funds, most of which provides rent assistance for formerly homeless individuals with disabilities and families fleeing domestic violence, people who simply cannot afford to lose their homes again. While these federal funds have not yet been cut, they are at serious risk. And with reductions already happening in other safety net programs like SNAP and Medicare, we know these losses will ripple through our community. Across Hawaii, families are just one paycheck away from crisis, too often forced to choose between paying for food, healthcare, or housing. Without this state investment to bridge the growing funding gap, we will see more families, kapuna, and medically fragile residents fall into homelessness. We operate 7
Thank
shelters
you.
with a. Thank you.
Hui o ho'ohonua. Okay, we'll come back to that one. Imua family.
Aloha. Imua Family Services provides Maui Nui as one of the leading early childhood service providers. We screen newborns for hearing loss, provide mental health counseling, run our inclusion preschool with our special needs children. Imua is seeking $500,000 for our critical early childhood intervention programs and healthcare SNAP program. Federal cuts, especially to the Department of Education, will directly impact the vulnerable populations that we serve. As DOE services are reduced, the demand on Imua increases, and we need support to ensure these essential services remain available to Maui County, Maui Nui families. Thank you.
Thank you. Imua Onipa.
Aloha, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Nick Winfrey, Executive Director of Mo'ona Pa'a, based on Maui. Our mission is to strengthen Hawaii workforce and economic resilience through career training, digital skills, and community partnerships. The federal shutdown has left hundreds of Hawaii federal employees suddenly furloughed without income, structure, or opportunity. These are skilled individuals who want to work, contribute, and support their families. Our $170,000 request will fund statewide training and career advancement programs that help furloughed workers upskill into high-demand living wage industries like technology, renewable energy, and project management. By doing so, we not only protect families today, but we strengthen Hawaii's long-term economic foundation. This investment turns crisis into opportunity, helping displaced workers transition from uncertainty to stability and from survival to success. Mahalo for supporting a stronger, more resilient Hawaii.
Thank you. We have In Peace followed by Kaha Kukahi Key Project. In Peace, you're up.
Aloha, my name is Gina Koka from the Institute for Native Pacific Education and Culture. We lost $2.4 million in federal funding cuts, including $1.6 million from the U.S. Department of Education and nearly $1 million from the National Science Foundation. These losses threaten 3 of our longstanding programs that have transformed lives across Hawaii. Our Kalama Education Academy, which for 30 years has been supporting community members aspiring to become educators in high-needs schools. Our Kaulele program, delivering hands-on STEM experiences to rural and underserved communities across the state through our traveling science exhibits, and our Center for Entrepreneurship, supporting low to moderate income families working to grow their small businesses. We're humbly requesting $1.9 million from Act 310 to sustain our teacher mentors, our STEM educators, and our business coaches to continue to serve children and families in Hawaii. Mahalo for your consideration.
Thank you. Kaha Kukahi.
Aloha, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Shawneen Schweitzer, and I am a founding board member for the nonprofit Kahakukahi Foundation. We're on the front lines supporting Maui's keikis and families through free childcare and mental health programs rooted in ocean connection, Hawaiian culture, and trauma healing. With the federal shutdown, families already impacted by the Lahaina fires are facing even more uncertainty. Childcare gaps, food and income stability, and emotional strain. Our programs have become safe, trusted spaces for both children and caregivers that are desperately needed. The funding request of $72,496 before you will help us to continue our programming, sustain staff, expand mental health resources, and ensure no family loses access to the support they rely on. This is an investment in Maui's recovery and in the long-term well-being of Hawaii's next generation. Mahalo for your time and consideration and for standing with our community as we rebuild Maui stronger together.
Thank you. Key project.
Aloha nui, my name is Rainbow, and I'm here on behalf of the Kualoa He'eia Ecumenical Youth Project, or KEY Project, serving Windward Ko'olau Oahu. We're requesting $250,000 to sustain 3 direct social service outreach positions that are at threat due to organizational funding on the federal level lost in April 2025. These positions are critical due to the ongoing federal shutdown and SNAP changes beginning November 1st. In just the first half of 2025, Key served over 2,000 households in Ko'olau Oahu with food support alone. Without this funding, our community will lose access to a vital safety net. We are also seeing an increase in need via phone calls and requests in the last 2 weeks. Continued funding ensures that our community's basic needs and food security are met. We have the experience, capacity, and community trust to meet this urgent need. Mahalo for your consideration.
Thank you. Next, we have KIFB, followed by KKCR, Kuakini Medical Center, and Kupu. KIFB, I'm guessing it's Kauai Island Food Bank.
Good morning, committee. It's Kauai Independent Food Bank. My name is Jennifer Harper. Thank you for the opportunity to address you this morning. As you know, like most food banks, we support our low-income residents here on the island of Kauai who are already at risk for hunger and food insecurity. We are requesting $100,000 for our operations to continue with our emergency food distribution program. We have had unprecedented number of residents coming for food support throughout 2025. But as I'm sure you can imagine, we've seen a sharp increase just in the last 10 days or so, where people are coming for food support that really were already at risk and already struggling. We are an indirect grant request as we did not receive a direct federal cut. But what we are seeing is many of those programs being cut. As you know, our safety net programs are either being eliminated or severely reduced, and now we face the SNAP cut on Saturday. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Next, I have KKCR.
Aloha, and thank you for the opportunity to come before you today. My name is Annie. I'm the Executive Director of the Kekahu Foundation, which supports Kauai Community Radio. Community radio is public radio, and we're the public radio station for Kauai and beyond. With the closure of the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, KKCR lost $83,000 of funds that were originally congressionally appropriated to us. That represents 27% of our budget for fiscal year ending 2026, which we already have a very constrained budget. And the way this affects us is that it's general operating support that was given to us by the government previously. And we end up being emergency support services, communicating emergency disasters to people in need in underserved areas that don't have internet access or anything. In addition to being a cultural resource, we are Kauai Community Radio. Thank you.
Kuakini Medical Center.
Aloha, my name is Greg Oishi, CEO of Kuakini Health System. Purpose of the grant is to protect Hawaii's low-income seniors whose healthcare is at risk. Hawaii seniors face uncharted and adverse impacts resulting from the federal laws and cuts. Kuakini is an indirectly impacted organization because a significant portion of our patients are seniors. Over 80% of our patients are on Medicaid or Medicare. Federal cuts to senior healthcare programs will already add to Kuakini's uncompensated care of about $3.3 million annually. Act 310 funds will be used to provide financial relief and additional care management services for seniors. We hope you will support our grant request to assist Hawaii seniors in need. Thank you.
Thank you. Kupu.
Aloha, my name is Colin McCabe, Vice President of Programs at Kupu. This past June, AmeriCorps zeroed out $3.5 million of our federal funding, which should have started this past September, not because of performance, but purely due to federal cuts. Even worse, we normally leverage these federal dollars to double our impact to approximately $7 million each year. With your support today, Hawaii can retain over 50, but when funding is leveraged, up to 130 full-time positions servicing many of Kupu partners statewide. $3.5 million will allow us to sustain these positions that are depended on by our community organizations, our landowners, residents, and visitors alike, while we seek to diversify funding through new opportunities within the state and abroad. This support will keep our youth working and paid, protect our natural and cultural resources, and ensure Hawaii's future workforce continues to thrive. Mahalo for your time and for your consideration. Aloha.
Thank you. Next, we'll have Hawaii Food Bank, followed by Living Pono Project, Makana North Shore Urgent Care, Malama Kai Foundation.
Aloha, my name is Aaliyah Herman, and I'm the Director of Advocacy at Hawaii Food Bank. Working with a network of over 250 relief partners, we serve Oahu and Hawaii, and we're proud to partner with the Food Basket and Maui Food Bank. Together, we work to ensure that all communities receive the food they need. Hawaii Food Bank has requested $5,644,000 to replace the millions of pounds of quality, healthy food lost to the cuts to USDA programs that feed some of our most vulnerable populations. Kupuna alone lost nearly 104,000 meals due to cuts to our senior food box program. 1 in 3 households in Hawaii are food insecure, and last year we served as many people each month as we did during the peak of the pandemic. And now, on top of the federal cuts to the food banks that we received, we're managing cuts to SNAP and the federal shutdown. Our priority is ensuring uninterrupted access to safe, nutritious food for those who rely on us, but we cannot do it alone. Mahalo for your consideration.
Living Pono Project.
Aloha, Val o Shana Makalea Dudwa Ane Ku'uinoa, o Executive Director no the Living Pono Project located on Maui. We are seeking $260,000 of our $1 million budget to sustain and expand our Food is Medicine program, which provides free produce baskets to families impacted by the Maui fires, along with our kupuna, keiki, and other disadvantaged and low-income community members, providing access to poi, kalo, uala, and other local produce. We currently serve over 700 families, representing 3,000 individuals each week, and purchase produce directly from 50 farmers and ranchers, strengthening Maui's local food economy. With ongoing federal reductions to the USDA, Medicare, Medicaid, and SNAP programs, we have already seen an increase in demand from families seeking support for basic food needs. We recently lost 12 workforce development positions previously supported through MEO's Federal Displaced Worker Program. With your support, you'll help us continue feeding Maui's families while building a resilient and island-based food system that ensures families the most in need have access to nutritious, culturally grounded foods. Mahalo for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Makana North Shore Urgent Care. Followed by Malama Kai Foundation, Malama Kauai, Malama Pono Health Services.
Aloha, members of the committee. My name is Beth Champlin. I am a nurse and executive director for Makana North Shore Urgent Care on Kauai. We are more than an urgent care. We provide accessible, affordable health care to our North Shore community, where for some, the nearest hospital can be more than an hour away. We offer X-ray, EKG labs, dermatological care, and are launching a new outpatient ultrasound clinic. Open 7 days a week, we reduce the burden on our emergency departments while providing comprehensive, high-quality, timely care to our patients, including underserved, low-income, and rural populations. We are requesting $750,000 to sustain operations amid an unexpected USDA loan repayment demand of over $1.5 million within 6 months that threatens closure. Without this funding, our community risks losing the only urgent care provider on the North Shore. This funding is critically needed. There are no alternative sources prepared to cover this immediate financial burden. We're fully prepared to use the funds immediately. Staff, systems, processes are in place. Mahalo nui loa for your support of rural healthcare access for Kauai's North Shore.
Thank you. Malama Kai Foundation.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Okay, great. Hi, my name is Alyssa Garvin. I'm the Deputy Executive Director with Mulamakai Foundation. We're a statewide nonprofit that has provided place-based education on Hawaii Island for more than 15 years. The sudden loss of federal support from NOAA's Bay and Watershed Education and Training Program has had overwhelming impacts on our organization's Bridge to Reach education programming and the communities that we serve through that program. In January 2025, the fiscal year 2025 funding opportunity was canceled just one day before proposals were due, eliminating nearly $150,000 in anticipated student programming support that we've received consistently for the past several years for this program. And then in September, NOAA confirmed that no fiscal year 2024 awards would be issued for Hawaii, resulting in a total loss of about $300,000 in federal funding. So without replacement support, all of the funding for Bridge to Reach education and teacher professional development programming will dry up in January 2026, leaving our 3 educators without work and hundreds of Hawaii Island students without hands-on science and stewardship experiences that connect them to their strengthen environmental literacy and cultural identity and spark future careers.
Thank you. Malama Kauai.
Aloha, I'm Megan Fox with Malama Kauai, and we are seeking a modest $100,000 to support food access work on Kauai. This includes funding for our Kauai Food Access Coordinator role, which was cut from the Department of Health SNAP Ed funding via the Big Beautiful Bill, as well as support for Kaukau for Keiki to fund local food box distributions for vulnerable children in need of food access when they're out of school, especially those whose SNAP has been cut. Food is a basic need and support is needed now more than ever. All of our funding will stay in Hawaii, funding local staff and local food. The timing could not be more critical. Via the SNAP pause, our island will be losing $350,000 per month in food benefits that support local families in need and our local farmers. So thank you for your time and consideration of this Kauai grown solution.
Thank you very much. Malama Pono Health Services, followed by Mana Maoli, Maui Economic Development Board, and Maui Food Bank.
Aloha committee members, my name is Melanie Rule and I'm the CEO of Malama Pono Health Services on Kauai. For nearly 40 years, we've been the safety net for those who have nowhere else to turn, but today we are at risk of closing our doors. We have lost over $300,000 in revenue due to cuts in Ryan White HIV funding, LGBTQ funding, and we are anticipating tremendous impact from the impending Medicaid cuts. And perhaps the most concerning, the populations we serve are being directly targeted by the current administration that devalues their very existence. Any organization supporting transgender individuals is now ineligible for federal funds, but we need to show our Mahu community that they are valued and loved. The direct and hostile attacks have put us in survival mode. We serve hundreds of clients each month, and with your support, we can keep our doors open and ensure Kauai continues to have a place where everyone is seen, valued, and cared for. Mahalo for standing with us in the community we serve.
Thank you. Mana Maoli.
Aloha kako. We humbly request a read of our written testimony. We've lost half of our $130,000 two-year NEA award 8 months into implementation. Thus, we're requesting a $65,000 for services that we'd have to cut otherwise. Our Manamele project serves thousands of youth annually at 23 DOE and public charter schools across 4 islands via culture-based music and multimedia education. These cuts impact a disproportionately high number of students who are low income or labeled at risk, who make up most of the youth we serve. Our year-long classes that were cut teach Manamoli's ABCs, academics, business, and culture through music and video production. We also lost short to long-term memberships on campus and internships off campus in real-world settings. Artist school visits providing small group workshops and a school-wide concerts where students perform alongside pro artists or join our AV crew. This includes one that was slotted to serve all 4 public Lahaina schools impacted by the wildfires. And these programs do more than teach creative and technical skills. They also help build a youth identity, confidence, and leadership. Hello.
Maui Economic Development Board.
Aloha, my name is Hannah Trees. I'm representing my Economic Development Board's STEMworks program. We are seeking critical funding to sustain our computer science and AI teacher training across the state. As the Hawaii regional partner for Code.org, STEMworks has trained over 2,000 public school teachers and impacted more than 100,000 students statewide to date. The requested $60,000 will allow us to continue offering completely free, high-quality, credit-bearing professional development, especially to educators in rural and underserved communities, ensuring equity of access to teaching resources, and helping us reach our goal of having trained computer science teachers in every public school in Hawaii. Our federal funding has been cut by almost $1 million due to our commitment to equitable and inclusive programming, and our partner, Code.org, has also lost DEI-related federal funding, which they have historically passed on to us. This Act 310 grant will be essential to maintaining our computer science teacher trainings and preventing disruptions to our work, which helps prepare Hawaii's students for fulfilling high-wage careers in science, technology, engineering, and math-related industries. Mahalo.
Thank you. Maui Food Bank, followed by Molokai Community Health Center, Naholo Maui, and Nakiai o Maui Aquino.
Aloha, my name is Lisa Paulson and I serve as the CEO of Maui Food Bank. We are requesting $895,000 to offset the loss of 537 pounds of federal food assistance canceled by the USDA in March of 2025 by the Trump administration. Every dollar will go directly towards purchasing nutritious foods, providing the equivalent of 380,000 meals for Maui County residents, allowing us to maintain our goal of distributing 7 million pounds of food annually. Since the wildfire disaster, Maui Food Bank has met extraordinary community need, and now with the November 1st lapse in SNAP benefits, we again face dire demand. Our food lines are long, and our phones are ringing nonstop. Together with Hawaii Food Bank and the Food Basket, we stand on the front lines of Hawaii's emergency food safety net. We ask for your support of our collective efforts to relieve hunger during these distressing times. Mahalo.
Next, we have Molokai Community Health Center.
Aloha, I'm Terry Ratty, testifying on behalf of Molokai Community Health Center. The health center recently received congressionally directed spending to complete a 3-year dental expansion program. The expanded program is needed on Molokai right now. 2 longtime dental practitioners have retired within the last year, which leaves our dental practice and 1 private practice to serve all of Molokai. The private practice that's open operates on a cash basis only. We accept all, regardless of insurance status or ability to pay. As a result, we have registered over 500 new patients since January 1st, and we currently provide dental care to an average of 50 patients per day. The project is 90% completed, but we do have outstanding expenditures, and we've been unable to access the CDS grant funds since the government shutdown. Based on the fact that CDS grant funding is being revoked across the country, we anticipate these funds will also be revoked. Therefore, our request is for $188,000 to cover the existing expenditures, as well as the anticipated loss of the remaining funding in the CDS grant. Thank you. Appreciate your consideration.
Thank you. Naholoha Maui.
Mahalo, honorable committee members. For 30 years, Na Ho'aloha has provided free supportive services to homebound older adults through our network of trained volunteers. Na Ho'aloha's services population has been directly and indirectly impacted by significant federal funding reductions in key programs that support older adults and persons with disabilities. Specifically, federal cuts to Medicaid and Medicare, to SNAP, as 42% increase in client reporting food insecurity and difficulty affordable nutrition, reductions in federal transportation and health care support programs, fewer federal housing and case management dollars. As a result, our organization faces rising demand for services while public and federal safety nets have shrunk. Naho Aloha is requesting $87,000 in general operating support to continue to provide free supportive care with limited resources, ensuring that vulnerable older adults are not left isolated
you.
and without emotional support. Thank you.
Nakiai o Maui, followed by Nalukai Foundation, Native Hawaiian Philanthropy, and Navian Hawaii.
All right, aloha everybody. My name is Nettie Aquino, Executive Director of Nakia'i o Maui, a disaster relief organization. We are asking for $200,000 to help us to continue serving our fire survivors who are deeply impacted by the SNAP benefits. We are serving 4,000 plus individuals, fire survivors, and are expecting a 25% increase new applicants as we open to the community in this time. Food is our greatest need. Mahalo for your consideration. Aloha.
Thank you. Nalukai Foundation.
Aloha Committee, I'm Alan Murabayashi. Thank you for this opportunity to address you on behalf of Nalukai Foundation. The federal cuts to Native Hawaiian and National Science Foundation programs threaten higher education and career pathways for many Native Hawaiian and AAPI students. For nearly 10 years, Nalukai has taught high school students an entrepreneurial approach to problem solving at no cost so they can create their own solutions in their own communities, from housing affordability to feral pigs to starting a food truck. We strive to create cohorts in our programs that match the demographics of rural Hawaii. This year, our 3 cohorts exceeded 53% Native Hawaiian participation. We're asking for a modest $50K grant representing less than 20% of our operating budget to fund a program manager and expand our programs to provide a path for economic diversification and prosperity for Hawaii's future. Mahalo for your consideration.
Thank you. Native Hawaiian Philanthropy.
Aloha Chair and members of the committee. My name is Cherry Amane, and I'm here on behalf of Native Hawaiian Philanthropy to share pressing concerns regarding our Native Hawaiian storytelling program and the Maui Ola program supporting Lahaina wildfire survivors. In August 2024, an NHP was awarded $1.29 million for a 3-year Native Hawaiian storytelling program from the U.S. Department of Education. Year 1 was a success, and NHP had planned to implement Year 2 on August 1st. However, the DOE verbally informed us that the funds would be delayed and may be released by October 1st, if at all. NHP has faced significant challenges over the past few months due to this delay. Our Year 2 funding, which was scheduled for release on August 1st, was only granted to us on September 23rd, a full 8 weeks late. This delay forced us to have layoffs, reduce staffs, hours, and even cancel important programs such as our fall music video production and cohort 2 Raiders Immersives. We are now uncertain if the current administration will continue to make these critical funds accessible, raising concerns about future funding for Year 3. Additionally, our Maui Ola program, which integrates cultural and mental health supports for survivors of the devastating Maui wildfires, has faced drastic cuts to FEMA funding to our partners. Without immediate financial support for NHP and our partners, we further diminish our ability to provide essential services to vulnerable communities.
You made it. Navy in Hawaii.
Aloha Chair and members of the committee. I'm Dan Hare, President and CEO of Navian Hawaii. As part of our overall care services, Navian Hawaii operates the Kailua Hospice Home, a licensed skilled nursing facility that's cared for over 3,000 kupuna since 1994. About half these patients receive charity care. Annually, our organization budgets to deliver charity care equal to about $700,000 specifically for these patients. Given the federal uncertainty, Navian Hawaii is aiming to provide an additional 1,250 free days of charity care, costing about $500,000 more in 2026, ensuring meals, housing, and skilled nursing care for those who need it most. Providing this additional charity care will ease hospital demand and save public healthcare costs. Hawaii's healthcare system is seeing more people show up in hospitals and emergency rooms because they don't have access to affordable, preventable, and end-of-life care. When federal funds are frozen or reduced, this pressure grows and hospitals bear the cost of patients who could better be served elsewhere. Hospice is an essential service that provides dignity, comfort, and ability for patients in the final stages of life.
North Shore EVP, followed by Obama Hawaiian African Museum, Olelo Community Museum, and Pacific Asian Affairs Council.
Thank you. Aloha. My name is Lisa Roden. I'm the Executive Director of North Shore EVP, managing the Hawaii Group Gap program. Hawaii Group Gap was developed and has been supported by a variety of federal awards, many of which are no longer funded. We are asking for $127,000 to continue to provide food safety training and certification support to Hawaii farmers. In September, we completed a multi-year USDA project to assist socially disadvantaged farmers. We have been waiting for USDA to reimburse us costs totaling approximately $140,000 since June. Concrete funding available for our operations in the coming year is approximately $215,000, which is less than half of our annual operating budget. We provide essential food safety training and certification support to Hawaii farmers, enabling access to traditional commercial markets as well as institutional markets. We are a team of 5 staff members supporting 54 farmers across the state at present. In light of the federal funding cuts affecting food and medical assistance services, food safety programs may seem a lesser need. However, the effects of these cuts are constricting local markets and increasing production.
Obama Hawaiian African Museum. Olelo Community Media.
Aloha kako. I'm Roger McKeag, President and CEO of Olelo Community Media. Title II and federal funding cuts to Departments of Education and Health and Human Services have threatened vital educational and health and human service programs that Olelo normally provides. Our Integrating Media for Education initiative supports teachers and students by providing hands-on training, professional development, and workforce opportunities. Our Giving Voice Community Information Hub enables government agencies and nonprofits to share critical information on how and where to receive health and human services. With a $1,765,000 grant, we can serve over 400 teachers, 80 students for workforce opportunities, and 12 health and human services agencies and NPOs to continue their communications and relations, serving their recipients statewide. Mahalo for supporting these vital, ongoing community services.
Thank you. Pacific and Asian Affairs Council.
Aloha, my name is Nikki Shishido and I'm the Executive Director at the Pacific and Asian Affairs Council, or PAC. In the face of cuts to international programs and uncertainties arising around funding for after-school and Title I programs, PAC continues to provide high-quality education, global education to Hawaii's youth, especially those in underserved communities. Nearly 40% of our students attend Title I schools where opportunities for enrichment and leadership are increasingly limited. Now more than ever, it's essential that Hawaii's youth development programs not only endure, but expand their reach to build empathy, understanding, and appreciation of diversity in our next generation. As one Kealakea High School student said, PAC has provided me with more opportunities than I can ever imagine. PAC was really my first leadership program, and it effectively built up my leadership skills from the ground. It's because of PAC that I am motivated to participate in other programs and help others. Mahalo.
Thank you. Pacific Birth Collective.
Good morning, committee members, and thank you. My name is Sarah Cousineau, and I'm the Director of Finance at Pacific Birth Collective and a birth worker. We're requesting $433,445 to sustain Community Birth Project, a program that fills critical healthcare gaps for birthing families at risk of losing insurance coverage. More than 2/3 of the families we serve rely on MedQuest, SNAP, and WIC. With proposed Medicaid cuts threatening up to 400,000 Hawaii residents, many anticipate losing access to perinatal care and safe birth services. For uninsured families, a single hospital birth can easily cost $15,000 to $25,000, forcing many to choose between safe care and financial survival. Our program provides accessible, preventative, community-based midwifery care for families who fall through the cracks of their insurance systems. For the past 2 years, we've received over 500 applications, demand continuing to rise as more families face coverage loss. Your support will allow us to continue serving mothers, babies, and the future of our communities. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. Pacific Gateway Center.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Matt Johnson. I'm the Executive Director for Pacific Gateway Center. Pacific Gateway Center is requesting $251,000 in grant and aid funds to support staffing to continue supporting Hawaii's immigrant and refugees through legal, social, and economic development support. Funding cuts that have occurred and that are anticipated to occur from the U.S. Committee for Refugees and Immigrants, USCRI, and also USDA, totaling $2.8 million. The withdrawal of these funds has left large service gaps that directly affect some of Hawaii's most vulnerable populations. Without dedicated federal support, many newly arrived immigrants and refugees now lack access to affordable services. PGC's work has become even more critical in this environment. The organization continues to provide holistic wraparound services that promote economic independence, food security, and community integrations for Hawaii's immigrants and refugees. Mahalo.
Pacific Islanders in Communication.
Aloha and mahalo for this opportunity to speak. My name is Cheryl Hirasa, Executive Director of Pacific Islanders in Communications, or PIC. We're a public media organization that's been committed to amplifying Pacific Island stories through film and media for the last 34 years. The recent federal rescission of advance appropriations for public media has resulted in a budget cut for PIC of $1.8 million for 2 years. This accounts for roughly 75% of our annual budget. Currently, we've paused our funding initiatives for independent films and media, along with our Leanne K. Ferrer Fellowship Program. Without funding to offset this loss, Hawaii is at risk of a sizable gap in our creative economy, and our stories will lose access to national distribution. We're respectfully requesting $956,705 that will enable PIC to continue our funding, artists, and professional development initiatives for film and media while we develop and implement a new revenue-generating business model in the next 2 years. Mahalo for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Okele's AI Brain. Piku Ho.
Aloha, Chair and committee members. My name is May Sermonia, Operations Director at PICU Co. PICU runs paid work-based tech internships with local companies, including Zippies, who hosted our last program. Since 2023, we've graduated 44 interns across 4 cohorts, with over 65% securing jobs within 6 months and earning an average of 44 per hour. No college degree is required for our program. However, federal funding harms Native Hawaiian access to career opportunities. We're requesting $191,000 to sustain and grow our program, expanding access to more local talent with a focus on Native Hawaiian populations to help prevent the continued brain drain from Hawaii, and launch a business coalition where local companies co-fund the future programs and hire our graduates. With your support, we hope to continue the momentum of growing the next generation of local tech leaders without leaving home. Mahalo for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Project Dana.
Aloha committee members, and thank you for this opportunity. I'm Maria Morales, Executive Director of Project Dana, which serves kupuna and family caregivers across Hawaii of all faiths, ethnicities, and incomes. The kupuna we serve are among those hit hardest by recent federal reductions in aging, nutrition, and volunteer programs, leaving many struggling to stay safe and independent at home. We are asking for $100,000 to grow a movement of volunteers who care for kupuna and their caregivers. As a community, we can ensure that every elder in Hawaii has the support and services they need to maintain independence and dignity in their own homes. Mahalo for your support of Hawaii's aging community.
Project Expedite Justice.
Thank you. Aloha, esteemed senators and representatives. My name is Cynthia Tai, and I'm the founder and executive director of Project Expedite Justice. We are a decade-old Hawaii nonprofit with a global footprint. Our mission is to protect the most vulnerable people from the most egregious crimes, genocide, war crimes, and human rights violations that plague all of humanity. Our tools are the law. Our courtroom reach is global. Together, we provide legal services to over 220 million individuals across 3 struggling democracies. We are proudly headquartered in Kealakekua, Hawaii, and our loss and our ask is $510,000, resulting from direct cuts from the Department of State. On January 24th, federal funding for our Sudan project was suspended. By September, it was effectively terminated. We were forced to relieve staff with no notice just as Sudan continued to descend into the world's largest humanitarian crisis, affecting around 25 million people, 6 times the population of the entirety of Hawaii. In the last few days, more than 2,000 husbands, mothers, and children have been killed in a genocidal attack in Sudan.
Thank you. Rainbow Health. Rainbow Learning Academy. Reno Abihai.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, my name is Reno Abihai, and I represent Kakako Boston Club. Our mission is to provide underserved and at-risk youth and young adults with a safe and positive environment to develop confidence, healthy habits, and life skills through the sport of boxing. We serve a population in Kalihi disproportionately impacted by recent federal funding cuts. Our community is comprised of youth who are at heightened risk of homelessness, involvement in criminal activity, low educational attainment, and food insecurity. With this $262,000 grant request, we'll continue to serve and provide a safe space for over 100 high-risk, low-income youth in the lower Kapalama area, a community located in the heart of 4 major housing projects in the city of Honolulu: Mayor Rights Homes, Kuhio Park Terrace, Kalihi Valley Homes, and Mauna Kea Public Housing. Through this investment, we'll deliver social, emotional learning and programming using the sport of boxing as a vehicle to build self-confidence, resilience, discipline, and leadership. We provide structured training, competition opportunities to help the youth pursue goals and excellence in the sport while developing life skills that extend beyond the ring. In addition, we'll design and implement a comprehensive. Thank you.
Next, we have Reuse Hawaii.
Aloha, it's Quinn, Executive Director. As you know, Reuse Hawaii is a nonprofit social employment enterprise that turns demolition into an opportunity. We divert materials from the landfill, redistribute them to the community as an affordable resource, and provide training and support for individuals facing barriers to employment. Since 2006, we've reclaimed thousands of tons of material from the landfill, trained hundreds of people for careers in construction and sustainability. Our mission is to give second chances to both people and material. The goal of Reuse Hawaii's programs is to sustain and expand our workforce development populations facing barriers to employment, who often are disproportionately affected by federally funded assistance programs. With support from the 310, we hope to expand this program. So thanks so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Spill the Tea Cafe.
Aloha, my name is Kiki Rosario, co-founder and outreach coordinator of Spill the Tea Cafe. We're Hawaii's first and only gender-affirming youth mental health clinic. In just 3 years, we've provided over 11,000 hours to more than 700 youth, many struggling with depression, suicidal ideation, and family rejection. But with recent federal funding freezes, new referrals are now coming our way, and we're working to keep services running as we move into a larger compliant clinical space. We are requesting funding through the Act 310 to stabilize and sustain these critical services, retaining 95% of our workforce, launching a care coordination unit for 350 families, and ensuring 6,000 therapy and peer support sessions for at least 700 youth statewide until insurance reimbursement can catch up. Without this investment, Hawaii risks losing its only specialized safety net for LGBTQIA youth, and at a time where suicide risk is at historic highs. With it, we can preserve life-saving care, strengthen family, and build a model of hope for islands. Mahalo.
Thank you. Susanna Wesley Community Center.
Aloha, my name is Joni Chan and I'm the Executive Director of the Susanna Wesley Community Center located in Kalihi. we are requesting support to sustain our food pantry, free store, and family stabilization and strengthening programs, a critical safety net for families most affected by reductions in federal programs. Kalihi is one of Oahu's most economically challenged communities, where nearly 1 in 3 households relies on these programs to survive. Since December 2024 alone, we've seen a 70% increase in households visiting our food pantry and a 131% rise in total pantry visits. More than 75% of our families we serve through our Free Store and family strengthening programs are impacted by the federal funding cuts. Funding will help us meet the growing need, keeping food on their tables, families stable, and hope alive in one of Hawaii's most underserved neighborhoods. Mahalo for your time.
Thank you. The food basket.
Aloha chairs and members of the committee. My name is Sarah Hamakawa, Grants Director of the Food Basket, and we're Hawaii Island's Food Bank. Because of federal program cuts to TFAP and CSFP, Hawaii Island has lost more than $2 million in USDA food resources. These programs have provided essential nutrition for over 50,000 island residents and more than 1,100 seniors every month. These federal reductions come at a time when 43% of our island's residents experience food insecurity, which is the highest in the state. Inter-island shipping costs have also risen more than 64% since 2020, making the cost of food even higher for our residents. Our request of $1.5 million through Act 310 will specifically go towards replacing lost federal food to keep our warehouses operating, enabling us to continue serving all 9 districts of Hawaii Island. This funding will also allow us to make more purchases from local farmers, producers, and distributors, strengthening our island's economy and food security. With your support, we can ensure that no family or kupuna is left hungry because of federal cuts. Mahalo for your time and continued commitment to Hawaii's food security.
Thank you. The Spirit Horse Ranch.
Aloha and good morning. My name is Paige DuPont from the Spirit Horse Ranch on Maui. We are requesting $500,000 in Act 310 emergency funding to sustain our trauma-informed care equine-assisted programs. We provide over 1,200 sessions per year in long-term recovery for wildfire survivors on Maui, youth at risk, foster youth, families in crisis, kupuna, and first responders across Maui and Molokai. We were directly affected. Our federal funding ask of $800,000 through ACF was not reinstated due to CDS budget cuts. Our OVC, HHS, SAMHSA, and DOJ grants equaling over $900,000 remain in limbo due to the shutdown, leaving us unable to cover costs for staff and operating beyond the next 2 months. Without this critical funding for our groundbreaking program will cease and hundreds of residents will lose access to this critical mental health program. We prevent hospitalizations, stabilize families, and rebuild hope. These programs literally save millions in annual healthcare and social services, including incarceration. We've provided.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mahalo.
Waianae Coast Comprehensive Health Center.
Aloha, Chair and community members. Lena Alakanana of the Waianae Coast Comprehensive Health Center, and mahalo for this opportunity. For over 50 years, Waianae Comp has been more than a clinic. We've been a lifeline for over 36,000 residents of the Waianae Coast and surrounding leeward communities, many of whom are kupuna and low-income families. Most of our patients live at 200%, below 200% of the federal poverty level, relying on Medicaid, Medicare, and SNAP benefits. With recent federal funding reductions, thousands of our neighbors will now face the very real risk of losing access to care, to food, and to the support that keeps them healthy. Act 310 funding will allow us to maintain crucial programs such as keeping Medicaid and SNAP coverage through our digital kiosk in the communities, supporting our local workforce development and training new physicians for our communities, and then also ensuring our kupuna can continue accessing care through our telehealth and transportation support. Mahalo for your consideration and your support.
Thank you. Waianae District Comprehensive Health and Hospital.
That would be us, yeah.
Same, okay. Yeah. Waikiki Business Improvement District.
Aloha, members of the committee. My name is Katie Ka'ahanui, Director of Strategic Initiatives at the Waikiki Business Improvement District. We're applying on behalf of our HEART initiative, which focuses on continuing our key efforts such as street medicine, 24/7 outreach, a court to care partnership, and other key wraparound services that connect people to pathways out of homelessness. Through the WBID, we also conduct a biannual homeless count, and our most recent count that was conducted just last week shows an uptick of homelessness up 34% from our last count, which tells us that people are already being impacted, and we are only anticipating more individuals coming into Waikiki looking for key resources and assistance. We are humbly requesting $250,000 to support expanding these services across all in-district zones within our Waikiki area. This also includes a centralized hub for Waikiki HEART used for coordinated services and behavioral health assessments. Mahalo for your time and consideration for our application and our services. Mahalo.
YWCA.
Good morning. My name is Stephanie Hamano. I'm the Chief Impact Officer at YWCA Oahu. We're requesting support for two critical programs that serve socially and economically disadvantaged entrepreneurs statewide. We're requesting $1,096,000 to support our capital readiness program, which lost over $1.6 million in federal support due to the October 25 shutdown. Without state investment, over 5,000 women and minority entrepreneurs will lose access to tech assistance, capital readiness training, and investor matchmaking, jeopardizing about $90 million in projected capital and jobs. We're also requesting $150,000 for our Maui Women's Business Center that faced a funding cliff in June. This program is vital to wildfire recovery and rural economic resilience, serving Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander, and immigrant women across Maui County. With the $150,000, we can continue counseling, training, and capital access for about 150 clients annually. Thank you.
Thank you. Alzheimer's Association. Arc of Maui County.
Aloha, my name is Aspen Walwork. I serve as the CEO at Arc of Maui County. For over 70 years, we've provided direct care services to children and adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities throughout Maui County. As the only ICF provider on the neighbor islands, we deliver 24-hour residential care across our group homes. A lack of funding once forced us to close a group home, a situation we cannot repeat. Most of our residents today have no family able to care for them if we close another home. As a direct care provider, our ability to provide quality care rests entirely on the strength and stability of our workforce. Chronic underfunding and upcoming federal reductions to HUD, Medicaid, and Medicare have forced us to rely on savings each month. If this continues, we risk depleting our reserves. We deeply appreciate your consideration and continued support for Hawaii's developmentally disabled community. Mahalo.
Big Island Substance Abuse Council.
Aloha, I'm Dr. Hannah Preston Pizza, CEO of the Big Island Substance Abuse Council. We are requesting funds to stabilize staffing and sustain our detox residential and outpatient programs, They're at risk due to federal pass-through reductions and reimbursement delays. BISAC is Hawaii Island's only licensed detox program and serves nearly 1,000 individuals each year across detox, therapeutic living, and outpatient care. These services reach residents from Hilo to Kona, Kohala to Ka'u, and everything in between, many living in rural areas with no other access to treatment. Without this funding, detox and residential beds could close, leaving no alternative on Hawaii Island and putting families, hospitals, and public safety at risk. This request directly supports healthcare, human services, and homelessness prevention, key priorities of this fund. BISAC has the trained staff, systems, and partnerships in place to use funds immediately and report measurable outcomes. This isn't just funds, it is a lifeline that will prevent a rural public health crisis and protect lives. Mahalo nui loa for your consideration.
Camp Mokuleia. You're muted. We can't hear you.
Sorry. Hello, my name is Daryl Whitaker, and I'm the Executive Director of Camp Mokuleia, a nonprofit camp and retreat center that's been located on the North Shore of Oahu for 75 years. We provide summer camp and day camp opportunities to children and youth across the state, but primarily on Oahu. We also provide services for young adults with intellectual disabilities and for families who are being impacted by childhood cancer. Many of our participants are from low-income populations who are struggling to afford much-needed child care. We are requesting $128,425 to expand our day camp program so we can provide free child care to those underserved families who have had their benefits reduced or completely cut. These funds will allow us to expand our current day camp offerings in several traditionally underserved areas here on Oahu and to start new day camp programs on our neighbor islands. Mahalo for your time and consideration. Thank you.
Common Ground Collective.
Aloha Committee. My name is Jennifer Crawdon. I'm the founding executive director of Common Ground Collective, a Maui-based nonprofit working to increase food security, economic opportunity, and requesting $389,000 in funding. Food security remains one of Hawaii's most urgent issues. Statewide pre-federal funding cuts, nearly 30% of households struggle to maintain reliable access to nutritious food. And now with federal benefit reductions, mass layoffs, and government shutdowns, many family, Kapuna and Keiki, are in a major crisis, forcing them to choose between food, housing, transportation, and healthcare, contributing to more than $80 million per year in preventable healthcare costs in Hawaii. The recent federal funding reduction and cuts on our organization. They've increased the number of residents and now rely on emergency distributions at a time when our capacity has been reduced. CGC provides access to local produce to more than 22 organizations and feeding groups that serve thousands island-wide. With rising demands, we need support in order to keep our residents fed and our local growers in business. Mahalo nui for your time and consideration.
CNHA.
Aloha. My name is Josh Stambro, Chief Administrator for Kalahiki, the Utility Relief Program at Hawaiian Council. CNHA directly lost $800,000 in federal funding for our utility program, and we request $500,000 from this committee. From COVID to Maui fire response, CNHA has deep experience delivering economic relief to Hawaii's people. Our utility relief program offers energy retrofits for ALICE households that permanently reduce bills, not just one-time assistance. We can save a family over $1,300 each and every year, and that's cash in their pockets to spend on food, healthcare, or whatever they need to survive. Just one example, with Hawaii Energy, we're delivering over 2,000 high-efficiency appliances for free to Maui fire survivors. These families are saving hundreds in electric bills as they rebuild their lives. Our commitment is to bring energy sovereignty and permanent utility relief to every household we serve. With Act 310 funds, we will serve half as many families across the state without those funds. Mahalo for your consideration.
East Hawaii Cultural Center.
Aloha committee members, can you hear me?
Yes.
My name is Lisa Solomine, Executive Director of East Hawaii Cultural Center in Hilo. We are humbly requesting $120,000 in Act 310 support as an indirectly affected provider that serves thousands of low-income and rural families and youth of East Hawaii. These vulnerable families and their youth are most impacted by the federal cuts to programs like SNAP, childcare, and arts education, and increasingly need resources like ours that support well-being and creativity through the arts. A small organization, EHCC offers one of Hawaii's widest range of free and low-cost creative opportunities, including hands-on workshops, music, theater, and a broad range of exhibitions. We are not backed by a trust or business, and we rely on community support for the power of art to heal and connect. With increasing requests for free programs, only with your support will we be able to stabilize our current operations and programs that provide outlets for creativity and well-being, especially for those that rely on our resources. Mahalo for recognizing that art and culture are vital to Hawaii's well-being, and thank you for this opportunity to testify.
Thank you. Family Promise of Hawaii.
Aloha, members of the committee. My name is Ryan Catalani, and I serve as our executive director. Mahalo for the opportunity to testify. We serve children and families facing homelessness through unique programs supported by over $4 million in federal funding, some of which has already been cut. Our request will directly prevent and end homelessness for at least 100 families through our centers in Wahiawa, Chinatown, Nu'uanu, Wailuku, and other regions. Your support will sustain the only program in our community that rapidly rehouses families experiencing homelessness due to domestic violence, which lost nearly $500,000 in federal funds. This year, we've received an unprecedented increase in calls from families who need emergency housing help. About 75% of these families are ALIS, employed but unable to weather federal impacts. We have the capacity to immediately deploy these Act 310 funds to protect Hawaii families. Mahalo for your consideration.
Five Mountains, Hawaii.
Aloha mai kako, Clarion Kealoha Bode, clinical psychologist at Five Mountains, Hawaii. We are a federally qualified rural health clinic on Hawaii Island. Coco ask today is twofold. First, we ask that you consider providing $200,000 in financial support to address the current income loss that we have experienced through Medicare. That's not including our anticipated losses. Second, we ask that you consider helping Coco to shore up the losses that we have experienced through USDA Community Facilities Grant and Loan Program. We spent 3 years working through the USDA process to build our new rural health clinic on DHHL lands. Since January of 2025, we have not been able to revitalize this communication process. Mahalo nui. I appreciate your help and your time today. Aloha.
Global Empowerment Mission.
Aloha, my name is Danielle Dries, the Executive Director of GEM Hawaii. Since the August 2023 Maui wildfires, GEM case managers have stood beside families every step of the way, helping them find housing, rebuild their lives, and restore stability. GEM is a trusted state partner managing the $22 million DHS rental assistance program and Maui Relief TANF housing. 80% of our Maui operations are federally funded. The current FEMA funding ends February 10th, 2026, and all decisions about program extensions are now frozen during the government shutdown. Even once operations resume, there's no guarantee FEMA will continue to provide ongoing assistance to Maui. More than 1,400 Maui households are still in temporary FEMA and state housing. GEM's housing team assists some of the most vulnerable survivors to navigate resources and seek long-term sustainable housing. Mahalo for your consideration.
Hamakua Youth Foundation.
Aloha kako, my name is Monica Stupidad, and I'm speaking on behalf of the Hamakua Youth Foundation on Hawaii Island. For more than 20 years, we've been a steady, trusted place for keiki and families, offering after-school care, summer programs, and food support rooted in Native Hawaiian values and community connection. Roughly 85% of our keiki identify as Native Hawaiian. This past year, federal cuts to programs like SNAP, WIC, Head Start, Section 8, Medicaid, and childcare subsidies have left many of our families struggling. We've directly seen parents working longer hours than keiki arriving at our doors hungry or needing extra support. We are seeking $76,000 to help sustain operations in order to support our families during this time. This funding would help us keep our doors open and our vital youth programs strong, ensuring that every child in Hamakua has a place to learn, grow, and feel seen. Mahalo nui loa for your consideration.
Hawaii Good Food Alliance.
Aloha, my name is Ka'iolani Odom. I'm the Executive Director of the Hawaii Good Food Alliance, a statewide coalition of community-based organizations, federally qualified health centers, farmers, and food hubs. We are requesting $1.52 million to sustain Hawaii community food system work after the termination of $25 million in USDA funding this past July. That loss halted planned grants for more than 150 local farmers and 20 community food programs with a focus on Native Hawaiian and underserved communities. We lost several staff members, and the salaries of over 70% of our remaining team have been affected. This funding will keep our statewide coordination intact, provide Noi Kokua rapid response business builder grants to local farmers, food hubs, and producers, and sustain community food distribution, delivering over 100,000 pounds of healthy local food to 10,000 and more families. 2/3 of this funding will go directly back into our community. Mahalo for considering our request. Thank you.
Thank you. Hawaii Island United Way.
Aloha, my name is Jessica Thompson, President and CPO of Hawaii Island United Way, not to be confused with Aloha United Way, our partners on Oahu. We are a separate independent nonprofit serving Hawaii Island since 1967. We've been a trusted funder supporting nonprofits that uplift our most vulnerable neighbors. Last year, we distributed $218,000 through our community impact grants. Those are dollars raised right here in Hawaii. And we administer the federal emergency food and shelter program, and those funds ensure critical resources reach those in need. We recently submitted our state grant and aid proposal to replace the federal emergency food and shelter program, as we've not received that funding. This is urgent. Hawaii County has the highest rate of food insecurity in the state, and nearly 48% of the households live below the ALICE threshold. In some rural districts, families are already skipping meals or going entire days without food. With your support, we look forward to strengthening the safety net. Mahalo.
Hawaii Keiki Museum.
Aloha, and thank you for this opportunity. My name is Dana McLaughlin. I'm the founder and the executive director of the Hawaii Keiki Museum. The Hawaii Keiki Museum is a hands-on learning center in West Hawaii. Our exhibits encourage tinkering. It's a place to learn coding, robotics, drones, laser cutting, polishing geodes, and exploring the stars. But the HKM is more than a museum. It's an experience. We believe that every young child, no matter where they live, no matter how rural, should have access to STEM. This funding will allow us to extend our proven successful model to bring island science literacy to keiki and their caregivers in extremely rural neighborhoods. Last year, we reached 2,000 keiki with all these micro-learning experiences, but the Federal Institute for Museums and Library Sciences had all of its funding cut, and they are unable to support us with this program to help our staff develop or even to curate our exhibits. But the deepest cut from that federal grant was rural community outreach, because science is not just a school subject. It is a way of understanding the world, and that is what affects the keiki of the Big Island the most. Your support gives keiki the two things they crave the most. Mahalo.
Hawaii Pacific University.
Aloha, Chair, members of the committee. Thank you for the opportunity to apply for Act 310 funding. My name is Jennifer Walsh, and I'm representing Hawaii Pacific University, HPU, a nonprofit higher education provider. In the last few months, HPU has lost more than $3 million in federal funding from the U.S. Department of Education, NSF, and the National Institute of Standards and Technology. HPU is humbly requesting $996,000 to replace a portion of the eliminated federal support. These funds will allow us to continue a multi-year student success initiative that provides tutoring, dedicated academic coaching, and career counseling for nearly 500 undergraduate students who enroll from across the state of Hawaii. The funds would also allow us to offer partial scholarships to fulfill the aims of the Noyes Scholarship Teacher Program to increase the number of well-qualified math and science teachers committed to serving public education students in high-need high schools here on Oahu. Finally, the last piece of funds would cover equipment and personnel costs to complete a research study from the Hawaii Department of Transportation. Mahalo for your consideration of this request.
Thank you. Homeless Task Force. Ho'ola Napua.
Aloha. My name is Kent Anderson with Ho'ola Napua, and we humbly request your investment to prevent sex trafficking and heal trauma in sexually exploited youth. As SNAP and Wicker cut, thousands in our ohana will suffer food and shelter insecurity. Food and housing insecurity causes increased transactional sex, abusive relationships, and sexual violence. Please partner with Ho'ola Napua to protect and heal Hawaii's youth during this turbulent season. Together, we'll provide basic food and shelter needs for exploited children at Pearl Haven, which was federally recognized as an innovative best practice. We'll provide prevention education across all the islands. We'll launch a sex buying reduction campaign across all islands and provide trauma-responsive groups and one-to-one mentoring to help youth meet basic needs and seek healthy pathways. Together, we can break the cycle of exploitation and build a safer future for Hawaii's children. Mahalo.
Thank you. Did I see Homeless Task Force
here?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Aloha, honorable senators and representatives. My name is Regina Weller, Executive Director of the Homeless Task Force, doing business as the 808 Homeless Task Force. I have 33 years in homeless advocacy, the last 8 years on the Big Island, Hawaii. We are requesting $403,000 to continue to place the in-housing into options of permanent housing, drug rehab facilities, and family reunification out of state. Last year, we provided 178 homeless individuals with family reunification, giving special attention to the mental health consumers who are returning home. We placed 10 into permanent housing and 15 into drug rehab facilities. We emphasize permanent because we know permanency decreases the homeless count. Though we do not receive federal funding, we perform boots on the ground outreach weekly and respond to many crisis calls from caseworkers from organizations that are experiencing cuts to their federal funding on Big Island, such as Salvation Army, Hope Services.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Kawaihona o Kana'o'o. Ka'ehu.
Aloha, Chair and Committee. Mahalo for this time and opportunity to share some of the work that we're doing here on the island of Maui. My name is Keola Maltenga, and I'm the Executive Director of Ka'ehu, and we are the Aina Stewardship team that oversees 64 acres here on the island of Maui. I just wanted to share a story of last week because I think this really reflects a lot of what we're seeing right now. We host a mahiai market, which provides food for the community, and we had to cancel last week. The person that came up and I was talking story with asked, when will it come back up and when will we be able to offer it again? And I had no good answers. I feel like many of us are in this place right now where we're in a place of high uncertainty. For us, it's a matter of food security, supporting our partners in the work that they do, and doing stewardship in the face of climate change. I mahalo you for your consideration and the difficult choices that you have ahead, and for considering Ka'ehu as one of those applicants. Aloha.
Thank you. Kalahiki, Hawaii. Kulani Akea.
Aloha pumihana kākou, o wau o Kaurana Ing. I'm the COO of Kulania Kea Hawaiian Immersion School in Kaneohe. Our mission here is to advance Hawaiian education, indigenous education, and our kula serves keiki ages 18 months through 6 years. The working class families that are learning ohana that rely on our childcare are only open to specific types of childcare that they consider values aligned. So without Hawaiian-centered schools like ours, many of these ohana would just keep their keiki home. And, that would mean one or more parents would lose out on critical income during these tough economic times. Our materials also support hundreds of classrooms across the Pai'aina and touch more than 54,000 community learners in both private and public school settings. 70% of our funding is currently from federal funds, which is how we keep our tuition down. We're set to have $750,000 expire. So your assistance will help kumu keep their jobs and ohana to continue to afford the only childcare they have access to. Mahalo.
Thank you. Lahaina Arts Guild.
Aloha. I'm Bill Smith, the director of the Lahaina Arts Guild. While our offices, storage, and classroom space in the old Lahaina courthouse were destroyed in the Lahaina fire, we have continued our art and music programs that have had a direct impact on the post-fire health and well-being of hundreds of West Side Maui children and their families. We hold student art shows, provide scholarships, and we run summer camps and paint-outs for the children. We are transitioning our art and music programs to the newly opened YMCA Community Resource Center in Lahaina. Given the recent cuts in funding, we have a critical need for teacher pay and supplies. We have taught thousands of art instructions each year at our West Maui schools. And in our music program at Princess Nahianahena, we are teaching music to the entire student body, pre-K through 5, including the Hawaiian language immersion classes. We are encouraging and addressing many of the challenges of post-fire children. We include wheelchair-bound, mentally challenged, and the displaced. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Lash. LASH.
Hi, sorry, Legal Aid Society of Hawaii. I'm Lisa Sparrow, Director of Development and Communications. Legal Aid Society is requesting $325,929 to support its Access to Justice Fellowship Program, consisting of 6 full-time equivalent positions that staff the court self-help centers and access to justice rooms and provide legal navigation assistance to legal aid clients. These positions were formerly funded by an AmeriCorps grant, which was originally suspended in April 2025. We do not seek to replace all of the positions lost as a result of this federal cut, but we do seek to maintain courthouse-based services and critical legal navigation services. Both we and our clients have been affected directly by other federal funding cuts as well, but we are strictly asking for support for these programs. For this program. These positions contribute to the economic and social stability of our communities across the state, addressing Act 310 priority areas, including healthcare, human services, homelessness, and food security, by providing information, assistance, and referrals to low-income, otherwise vulnerable individuals. Thank you.
Molamakai Foundation. Maui Family Support Services.
Aloha Chair and members. My name is Adele Baguio Lorena, CEO of Maui Family Support Services. I'm here to respectfully ask for your support of our request for over $820,000 to sustain our Early Head Start program. We are the only agency that implements Early Head Start in Maui County. This request comes in response to a recent reduction of over $1 million federal budget from the Administration for Children and Families, which has significantly impacted our ability to maintain essential early childhood services for our most vulnerable keiki and families. Our Early Head Start program provides services to over 100 infants and toddlers, including families that are still recovering from the Maui wildfires. Without this funding, we face the possibility of reduced classroom hours and fewer home visits. By supporting this request, you are investing in our youngest children's futures, strengthening families, and ensuring that Maui County's keiki have a healthy and equitable start in life. Mahalo for your time and support and your commitment to Hawaii families. Mahalo.
Maui Roots Reborn.
Hi, aloha chair and members of the committee. My name is Veronica Mendoza. I'm the founding executive director of Maui Roots Reborn. Thank you for the opportunity to testify this afternoon, this morning still. We're requesting $315,000 to restore vital capacity lost after unexpected federal cuts earlier this year that led to losing 17 members overnight. Roots Reborn is a locally based nonprofit founded in response to the 2023 wildfires to ensure immigrant and migrant communities were not left behind. In just over 2 years since our founding, we have secured millions of dollars for our community, secured access to banking, helped navigate resources through case management, increased access to justice through our legal aid program, and pushed hyperlocal policy work forward. Our organization also serves Maui's broader immigrant and migrant community, developing programs in direct response to increasingly aggressive and harmful federal immigration policies that have heightened fear, vulnerability, and barriers to access for the populations we serve. Roots Reborn's goal is in this proposed grant are to continue providing access to critical services, promote long-term stability and resilience, and empower immigrant communities through Know Your Rights education and leadership development. With strong cross-sector collaboration.
Maui United Way.
Kahalea Keola, Women Helping Women, MEO, Kahale Pomaikai, the Salvation Army, Maui Food Bank, and Nahoaloa. These are just some of the partners Maui United Way supports through our emergency food and shelter program to provide shelter, rent, food assistance across Maui County. Aloha Chair and members, my name is Jian Lee, and I'm the interim CEO for Maui United Way, a separate Maui County-focused nonprofit serving Maui, Molokai, Lanai for the last 76 years. Our EFSP program is the backbone for Maui's social safety net, ensuring families have housing, food, and emergency support as recovery continues. Two of our major federal funding pipelines, EFSP and the EPA Brownfields Assessment Grant, have been delayed, leaving local nonprofits to carry critical work without these resources. Respectfully, Act 310's support is requested and vital to keep these essential services operating and ensure that Maui families can recover with dignity and resilience. Mahalo nui for your time, consideration, and all that you do for our Kaiauluni statewide. Mahalo.
Thank you. Naho aloha Maui.
I already spoke.
Okay. North Kohala Community Resource Center.
Aloha. My name is Nathan Trump, president of the North Kohala Community Resource Center. We lost 3 different federal funding sources, totaling over $300,000 in supporting projects serving youth and families here in North Kohala. Due to the federal cuts, we are unable to fund a program that offers after-school science education for elementary age students, and we also won't be able to fund 2 video documentary projects featuring Kohala's rich oral history. We're asking for $32,500 to help our team support these programs and empower a thriving North Kohala. Mahalo.
Thank you. Pacific American Foundation.
Aloha mai kako. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm Derek Isabel, the Chief Operating Officer for the Pacific American Foundation. Our mission is to improve the lives of Pacific Americans through service with dignity, courage, humility, and competence. We're requesting support for 2 of our programs that have been defunded. The Nalu Studies Program, a accredited culturally based STEM program that provides educational programming to Hawaii's at-risk youth, has been operating for 19 years. We've been partnered with NOAA BWET since its inception in fiscal year and in fiscal year 2024, we were awarded $150,000. This funding was pulled before it was ever received. Nalu has been servicing Maui Nui for the past 3 years, and the communities have come to rely on us, especially the rural communities. This $150,000 will have significant impact on those students, including their ability to graduate high school. We also had $343,000 frozen in our Department of Interior funded Kapapalehua program, which supports our culture operations and educational services that are 400-year-old Hawaiian fish pond, Waipulu Loko Ia. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Partners in Development Foundation.
Aloha. One of our program families shared this story. 5 of my grandchildren attended Tutuimi. I watched them grow into confident, curious learners, ready for kindergarten and praised by their teachers for their reading and social readiness. I also saw my own children become stronger parents, guided by the program's resources and cultural teachings. Tutuimi is more than a preschool. It connects generations, strengthens families, and honors our culture. Without Act 310 funds, stories like this will end. Without funding, 1,700 infants, toddlers, and preschoolers will lose access to early childhood education and will not be ready for school. Without funding, 2,700 parents and caregivers will lose access to parent education, mental health counseling, free lunches, and food boxes. Mahalo for caring.
Pono Roots Counseling Center. You're unmuted, but we can't hear you. Okay, we'll come back to you. We're going to move on to Puna Rising, Hawaii.
Aloha, members of the committee. My name is Robert Golden, president of Puna Rising Ohana. We've applied for a grant of $111,000 for the people of Lower Puna, one of Hawaii's most underserved regions and still struggling to recover from the 2018 Kilauea eruption. Over 700 homes were lost, thousands were displaced, and the expiration of the FEMA, HUD, and USDA programs have left our families without the safety nets they once relied on. Today, more than 70% of households in Pahoa are hourless working, but unable to meet the basic cost of living. Our organization is indirectly impacted by federal cuts. Through our Entrepreneur Hub and our movable fees for Puna, Puna Rising Ohana is creating real solutions. We train residents to start small businesses, mentor farmers and local entrepreneurs, host cultural gatherings that reconnect our community. Our $111,000 grant will allow us to launch or strengthen 15 enterprises, train at least 20 entrepreneurs, and engage over 1,500 residents in economic and cultural renewal. Thank you.
Do we have any luck with Pono Roots?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please proceed.
Okay, perfect. Aloha committee members, thank you for this opportunity. My name is Noelani Young, and I am the program manager at Pono Roots Counseling Center. We are a program of Hawaii International Child serving Hawaii since 1975. We humbly request $165,000 to support and sustain the mental health treatment programs we provide. We had initially requested a larger support package, but in learning that the total requested amount of funds exceeded the available funds, we have reduced our request. With the U.S. government shutdown, this has impacted about 65% of our clients, who are individuals, families, as well as veterans who all rely on federally linked insurance programs to access our mental health services. There has been a decrease in client ability to pay for services, an increase in treatment cancellations, as well as having received an increase in sliding scale requests and support in increased numbers of pro bono cases. Our work is vital for preventing family dissolution, reducing suicide, and supporting the general mental health well-being of our community. Thank you for considering our request and support. Mahalo.
Thank you. Roots Reborn. I don't know if that's different from Maui Roots Reborn. Maybe same.
We already won. Thank you.
You guys already did, though, right? Okay, so we'll do a SHAC Foundation.
Aloha, esteemed committee members. I'm Suzanne Schreiner with SHAC Foundation. We support programs for over 2,500 farmers of coffee, macadamia, cacao, floriculture, and papaya around the state, and coordinate $2 million annually in federal funding to increase economic security for our farmers. Over 90% of Hawaiian farms are owned by families, with 85% of farm incomes below the ALICE poverty level. We are asking for $285,000 to partially replace direct funding cuts to our farm programs. We lost several grants. Foremost was $500,000 in annual USAID funding, which provided us with staff that improved crops and stabilized grower income. We also have ongoing programs under stop work orders and are awaiting word on the future of this funding, which has delayed significant projects for most of the year. Other USDA grant programs were canceled prior to contract. Jack realizes most nonprofits share a similar story, and we appreciate the committee's consideration at a moment when many are hurting. Mahalo.
Thank you. Sustainable Coastlines Hawaii.
Aloha committee members, mahalo for your time. My name is Raphael Bergstrom, the Executive Director for Sustainable Coastlines Hawaii. Our request is in a direct response to a loss of a NOAA BWET grant that we were supposed to receive to support our Relearning Ahupua'a program, which is a immersive educational experience to get Title I students out of the classroom and into the environment to understand the connections from Makai to Mauka. So they go through a series of field trips throughout the semester, starting with beach cleanups and moving Mauka to understand regenerative agriculture, to understand food sovereignty, and to understand the possibilities of restoration as a connective piece to protecting our coastlines. And it was really centered on schools in Waimanalo, in Kahuku, in Waianae, with the potential to expand to Molokai also. So yeah, it's a request for just under $150,000. Last thing I'll say is just a huge mahalo for trying to support all of these nonprofits who are clearly in need, and this is a really amazing piece that the state is trying to accomplish to save the day in a sense. So mahalo.
Thank you. Teach for America Hawaii.
Aloha mai kako. My name is Pi'ikia Kalakaupa Ardi, and I'm with Teach for America Hawaii. We're requesting your support to help us recover from the recent termination and continued risk to AmeriCorps funding, directly impacting our ability to train and support teachers in Hawaii's highest need schools. Since 2006, we have placed over 1,100 educators across Oahu and Hawaii Island, serving nearly 18,000 students annually, many in communities where up to 100% of students qualify for free and reduced lunch. Our educators fill critical vacancies and lead in schools with the highest poverty rates and largest Native Hawaiian and Pacific Islander populations. With this loss of federal funding, we are requesting $34,321 through Act 310 to sustain our teacher development and credentialing program. This will ensure that our communities do not lose a vital pipeline of qualified educators. Mahalo for your time and consideration.
Thank you. The shelter. Wahiwa Health.
Good afternoon or good morning. I'm Bev Harbin. I'm the CEO of Wahiwa Health, a fairly qualified lookalike in Wahiwa, serving Central Oahu. I stand on my written testimony. As the only safety net provider in Central Oahu, we anticipate seeing a possible reduction of access to our population. As an area that unexpectedly lost its hospital recently, Wahiwa works with patients to get to Honolulu to get needed specialty and other services. But our primary care is of most importance in this time to be sure we continue to allow for access to primary to keep us healthy. Wahiwa Health will be also expanding our food distribution in a partnership with DHS. Tough times are upon us. Help Wahiwa to continue serving as the only primary care FQ in Wahiwa, Mililani, and our agricultural areas located in Waialua, Whitmore, and also all of our military at Schofield and Wheeler. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Waikiki Community Center.
Aloha. Waikiki Community Center is requesting $150,000 to support our 3 food programs that serve kupuna, young children, and their families. We've experienced an over 880% increase in our food program demand from January through September of this year. Over 90% of the recipients through these food programs receive SNAP and or other federal benefits that have been impacted. With these funds, we will be able to ensure the nutrition of over 4,000 kupuna children and families, residents of the area. Mahalo.
Thank you. Weed and Seed Hawaii.
Aloha. Hi, good morning. Aloha, my name is Gilbert Searles, the director of Weed and Seed Hawaii. Weed and Seed is a nonprofit community-based organization that began under the U.S. Department of Justice. Our mission is to reduce crime, strengthening neighborhoods, and provide positive opportunities for youth and families in 3 communities. We are respectfully requesting $100,000 to supplement funding to help bridge the gap between our current grant and the growing needs of the communities we serve. The funds will allow us to continue vital programs that promote safety, education, and community engagement. Mahalo for your time, your support, and your continued commitment to helping us build stronger and safer neighborhoods across Hawaii. Thank you.
Thank you. Women's Fund of Hawaii.
Aloha, my name is Elizabeth Case. I'm the Executive Director of Women's Fund of Hawaii. We support innovative grassroots programs that introduce new solutions to improve the lives of women and girls statewide through free mobile healthcare clinics, domestic violence shelters, culturally based healing programs, and transitional housing. We take particular interest in programs that serve Native Hawaiian and Pacific Islander women and girls because these 2 groups fare disproportionately worse than others on many measures. We believe that when women thrive, communities prosper. In 2025, we have already seen a $90,000 increase in emergency requests to us, while our own fundraising has declined. Without immediate state support, critical community-led programs that serve women and their families could close their doors. We're requesting $40,000 in state bridge funding to sustain these organizations that serve the community impacted. Mahalo.
Hawaii Pacific Advisory Group.
Aloha, my name is James Famuina. I'm with the Hawaii Pacific Advisory Group. I want to thank you for this opportunity. We were established in 2023 after the Maui wildfire. We were funded through the Hawaii Pacific Foundation. It served as a program up until we stopped receiving funding. We just submitted our nonprofit status with the state, and we're waiting on our 501c3. Hawaii HPAC serves as a consortium of professionals, varied disciplines from the military, emergency management, aviation, and the university. We aspire to be a think tank, an interdisciplinary hui, and our communities serve our community as trusted agents, trying to provide culturally grounded, technologically based, and information that's going to go out and hopefully avoid any other harm that could occur from a future disaster. We're searching for 70,000 in seed funds, and we thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. Hui Aloha Kiholo.
Aloha mai kākou and mahalo for this opportunity. My name is Monica Frazier. I'm the Director of Operations and Finance for Hui Aloha Kiholo. We are a Native Hawaiian nonprofit organization that stewards the Kiholo State Park Reserve in North Kona. We are requesting just under $161,000 to sustain our Aloha Aina certificate program. This is a hands-on education and workforce development program that connects youth, families, and community members to the practice of malama aina from moka to makai. For nearly 2 decades, our cultural director, who is also our founder and a lineal descendant of this area, has led our education program. The federal funds we lost represented our first opportunity to begin a long-planned succession process to hire and train a new education program lead through direct mentorship and intergenerational knowledge transfer. This funding will ensure the continuity of cultural and educational leadership in our community for years to come. We have the staff, partners, and systems ready to implement this project immediately and a community who is ready to learn. Mahalo.
Thank you. Brad Ishimoto.
Hi, sorry, this is Brady Schmart with Child and Family Service. Thank you for your time. So for 126 years, Child and Family Service has stood as one of Hawaii's few true safety nets, especially for our rural communities. Each year, we serve over 100,000 local families by providing critical safety net services like targeted case management, child welfare, and domestic violence support. This past year is one of the hardest in our history. A loss of $3 million in operating revenue forced us to reduce our workforce and cut back on services, just as demand for behavioral health and crisis support has surged. Without this funding, an estimated 60,650 people will go without care. Today, we respectfully ask for your support to meet this urgent need. $700,000 to restore federal funding that supports 3,500 families statewide, just $200 per family to maintain access to key safety net programs, and $500,000 to provide 5,000 hours of mental health counseling for families, youth, kama'aina, and veterans losing their insurance. Just $100 per crisis session can be the difference between despair and stability. Hawaii's rural families are counting us, and with your support, we can protect Hawaii's safety nets and ensure no family is left behind. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Iso Pike.
Aloha, I am with the YMCA of Honolulu. For more than 150 years, the Y has been a trusted partner in strengthening Hawaii's families and communities. This grant and aid will help us continue two essential services deeply affected by federal funding cuts: childcare subsidies for working families and our Kapuna Meal and Wellness Program. Nearly 90% of our preschool families receive financial aid, and hundreds of our Kapuna rely on the Y for nutritious meals, exercise, and connection. Your support will keep parents working, children learning, and Kapuna thriving with dignity and health. Mahalo for your time and continued partnership in caring for Hawaii's keiki and Kapuna.
Thank you. Emily Emmons. HHHRC.
Yes, aloha. Thank you so much. My name is Heather Lusk, and I'm with the Hawaii Health and Harm Reduction Center. Really appreciate the opportunity to talk today about the importance of our request to fill $100,000 for the sudden reduction in funds from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration for our reentry and substance use treatment program. These requested funds will allow us to retain staff and services that are needed to support those leaving incarceration. HHHRC offers substance use disorder treatment and wraparound case management and housing to assist those with recovery as they leave incarcerated settings. Those with extended periods of incarceration are at heightened risk of fatal overdose, homelessness, and increased costs related to emergency medical services and reincarceration. And an evaluation has shown that our efforts not only help meet needs, but saves money. We are also currently implementing a sustainability plan that would allow us to diversify our funds, and if we are blessed to be funded, would be able to retain services. We know you have tough decisions to make and appreciate your commitment to the nonprofits, which are the safety net for some of our most vulnerable. Mahalo.
Thank you. Alzheimer's Association.
Aloha members, my name is LJ Duenas, the Executive Director for the Alzheimer's Association. We're requesting $120,000 to expand and sustain our caregiver education, brain health outreach, and dementia care training programs statewide, programs that have become even more critical as federal funding faces cuts. Right now, we don't know the full extent of these cuts, but we do know that they will deeply impact Hawaii's caregivers in Kupuna, reducing essential services, increasing caregiver burden, and shifting more of the cost of care to families. Our programs empower families. Without state support, many of these free services, support groups, early detection, and caregiver programs will be reduced. Mahalo for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Lanai Community Health Center.
Aloha Chair, Vice Chair, and members of the committee. My name is Nina Medeiros, Chief Financial Officer of Lanai Community Health Center. We are requesting $730,000 to sustain staffing and operations for Lanai's only full-service health facility, which serves all 2,888 residents on the island. Our request directly offsets the loss of Medicaid revenue caused by the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, which cuts federal Medicaid funding by 15% beginning January 1st, 2026. For us, that means more than $650,000 in reduced reimbursements and increased uncompensated care. Without this support, LCHC will face reduced clinical hours and possible staff losses, jeopardizing access to primary care, dental, behavioral health, optometry, and telehealth for the island's low-income and Native Hawaiian families. Act 310 funding will ensure 47 full-time staff remain employed, preserve essential care, and keep services local so residents do not need to fly off island for basic health needs. Thank you for your consideration and continued commitment to Hawaii's rural and underserved communities.
Thank you. Sunshine Farm Foundation.
Hello? Hello, committee. Can you hear me?
Yes, please proceed.
Oh, thank you for your time. My name is Timothy Clark from Sunshine Farm Foundation. Our mission is to educate in sustainable organic farming practices and provide healthy organic foods to our community while focusing on food security in Hawaii. Earlier this year, we lost a grant for $193,000 as part of a federal fund cut. And also currently we are awaiting a payment of $41,000 from the USDA as part of this current shutdown in the government. And, you know, with uncertainty of what will happen going forward. That is all. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Feed Hawaii.
Aloha, members of the committee. Am I coming up? Oh, there I am. Aloha. My name is Maya Parrish, Executive Director of Feed Hawaii, DBA Kohala Food Hub. When federal funding for nutrition and food access programs were cut this year, hundreds of Hawaii Island families, many right here in Kohala and Hamakua, lost access to fresh, healthy food overnight. Families who already drive 40 miles for groceries, kupuna choosing between food, fuel, and medicine, farmers losing steady buyers. Act 310 funding is how we hold the line. With your support, our Farm to Family program will deliver at least 30,000 pounds of Hawaii-grown food to over 1,000 local residents and put $57,000 back into the hands of our island's farmers. Every box we pack feeds a family, strengthens a farm, and keeps dollars circulating right here at home. This is what food security looks like. Community feeding community. Local food feeding resilience. Mahalo for standing with us to keep Hawaii fed, connected, and growing strong. Mahalo for your support.
Thank you. Ho'ola Veteran Services. Palehua Conservation Initiative.
Aloha, I'm Elizabeth Fujii, the Executive Director here at Palehua Conservation Initiative. We are located in the Ewamoku and Honolulu Ahupua'a, overlooking Nanakuli Valley and the Waianae Mountains to the west, and Pu'uloa Pearl Harbor to the east. Palehua has incredible views of Oahu, the ocean, and other Hawaiian islands. Palehua Conservation Initiative stewards 20 acres of dryland forest with watershed and endangered birds and snails. And in Hawaii, over 90% of our dryland forests have been destroyed. We're requesting $76,500 as part of a native dryland forest seed bank. This is for climate resilience, disaster recovery, and native ecosystem restoration. A U.S. Forest Service article posted in June of this year describes it well. Seeds of native Hawaiian plants are needed to restore areas burned by fire. There's not enough seed available. The area burned continues to grow because invasive grasses carry fire easily. And optimally, after a fire, we should replant natives right away. We have quite
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We Noah.
Is that me? I didn't sign in correctly. Hi, my name is that me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm Monique Monaville. I am speaking on behalf of Women in Need. This is a nonprofit organization that has been a lifeline for women and children escaping domestic violence and rebuilding their lives. For years, Women in Need provided safe, stable housing for survivors that had nowhere else to go. Beyond shelter, we provided counseling, mental health support, case management to help victims of domestic violence and crime. They're both victims of domestic violence and crime, regain stability, safety, and dignity. Our programs have not only helped families heal, but also broke the cycle of abuse that impacts their generation. Unfortunately, due to the loss of federal funding, we're now unable to continue serving many of the most vulnerable members of our community. Each dollar lost represents a mother and child left without a safe place to stay, a survivor without therapy or guidance, a life at risk of being re-victimized. We urge our community partners, funders, and decision makers to recognize the profound impact that Women in Need makes.
Thank you very much.
Are we done?
Is there
Thank
anybody
you.
else that signed up that I missed or was unable to come to the screen at the time? Bobby Benson Center, please proceed.
All right, aloha. My name is Yoni Nayata. I serve as the executive director at the Bobby Benson Center. The Bobby Benson Center is the state's lone certified substance abuse residential treatment center for youth. Many of our young people we serve come from traumatic backgrounds and have been involved with the justice system and have nowhere else to turn for help. Recently, we lost critical federal funding that supports our programs for justice-involved youth. This has placed a strain on our operations and reduced our capacity to serve some of our most vulnerable adolescents. We are respectfully requesting $200,000 in support through Act 310 to help offset the loss of federal funding. Without this support, many of our youth risk slipping through the cracks without access to critical care. Mahalo for your time. Aloha.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else? Last call. Okay, well, that concludes our testimony for today. I just want to mahalo everybody for coming out. I apologize for the short time frame. I know 1 minute is really tough for you folks to get all of that information in. The committee has had your applications and we will continue to go over them. We do intend to reconvene at a later date. Right now, tentatively, we're looking at November 20th. Will be November 20th at 9 a.m. at the same place here in the Capitol Auditorium. If things change, we'll put notice out to the public and the media. But thank you everybody for everything today, and we are adjourned.